Hello, my friends. It is time for the final day, the culmination of 2+ months of hard work, all leading up to this. It is playoff day. We are going to take a peek at the quarterfinals, the semifinals from the HSEL homeroom regular season. And then a little bit later on, we've got the grand finals coming at you live in its full, uncut fashion. This is just, I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we made it to this point, Billy.
I mean, I can't believe they kept us around this long.
Well, there's
Seriously.
that.
No,
There's
there's
that.
that too. No, I'm super excited. I mean, this has been just a labor of love. I mean, every Monday, I absolutely look forward to this and being here in this environment. It's been such a wonderful season, and finally, the culmination is here. We are going to blow it out of the water tonight, and so are the players and the teams that we are going to be showing on screen tonight. We've got the recap of Valley Christian versus Vernon Hills coming up first. Number 1 seed versus number 9 seed. And then we will be going on from that. Oh my goodness, we have such a day ahead of you. It's going to be absolutely off the easy.
Including the top 5 plays from the playoffs. So y'all be sure and stick around for that. But first things first, let's take a look at our standings. Let's look at our 16 teams that made it into the postseason. These teams were battling it out all season long, trying to fight for these precious, coveted 16 slots. It was Valley Christian and Thunder Esports coming in number 1 and number 2, undefeated, 8-0, perfect records coming through on the season. We had 5 7-1 teams. The rest all lined with 6-2 squads. I'm anxious to see if there's any upset potential as we go through these playoff runs from these different teams.
I mean, anything's up for grabs here. I mean, it's the end of the season. Everything's on the line for these teams going in through the quarterfinal stages. And I mean, VCHS is going to have a pretty awesome time getting through their edge of the bracket. So, I'm expecting to see, honestly, the top 4 teams. If I had to, take a wild guess about it, number 9, Vernon Hills, kind of stumbled at the end of the season and ended up in the number 9 seed. So they were going up against a much higher seed in their initial game than what they were, supposed to be going up against. I mean, they lost against Valley Christian in week 7, and then week 8, it wasn't on stream, but they lost that game too and ended up 6-2. They would have been one of those 7-1 teams that had a much better path to getting into the quarterfinals.
Well, and that's one thing about playoffs, though, right? All of those past transgressions are all off the table. Like it's a complete blank slate. You're straight up. You coming in here, if you can just put together a couple wins, it doesn't matter what seed you came in with, doesn't matter who you lost to before. Now it's a different monster. And there are certain teams that can just turn it up in the postseason. Before we start taking a look at that, let's have a look at our recap from the regular season, see how the past 8 weeks went down. Oh, it was an exciting season, an absolutely exciting season. I noticed more than a couple of clips there from Snips. Main tank extraordinaire for Valley Christian has been an absolute powerhouse all season long, alongside Charlie Barley, the off-tank player there for Valley Christian. And I feel like the Warriors are the team to beat coming into this. And speaking of, we're going to take a look at our first quarterfinals coming up. This is going to be between Valley Christian and Vernon Hills. As Billy had alluded to before, these two teams played each other back in week 7. At that time, they were both undefeated, coming in 6-0. And I mean, Valley Christian just turned up the heat on that one and really set themselves above the pack. We'll see if Vernon Hills can find some revenge against this squad as we take a look at the bracket. So we're going to head right into quarterfinals. You can get a look at how the opening round went. It was a lot of 3-0s. But Vernon Hills, I will say, the only team that was from the bottom half of the bracket to make it through into the quarterfinals. You see everybody else, it's 1, 4, 5, 2, 7, 3. Vernon Hills, 9th seed coming in. I can't help but feel they got that's a little undervalued, a little underrated from the talent we saw from this squad. But going up against Valley Christian, man, they got a tough draw here in the quarterfinals round.
I mean, they pretty much had the easiest of the initial rounds of the playoffs, though, my friend. So, I mean, they went close to put the next closest seed to them, being right at that split spot. So, without further ado, let's get into the number 1 versus number 9 seed, Valley Christian High School, coming out of San Jose and Vernon Hills out of Lincolnshire, Illinois. This is going to be huge.
And when we first saw them before, they met on Nepal. Vernon Hills was able to take that one. As you can see, Vernon Hills in the blue got 83%. Valley Christian in control. Coming through with the McFlurry brawl. Both teams were running the Zarya variation. It's Shima with the key sound barrier able to help win that one out for Valley Christian.
Oh, that is
a massive flux from Charlie Barley.
Oh, the 8 from Cash! Cash, the star off tank for Vernon Hills, ate the Dragon Strike, but ends up just being destroyed by the rest of Valley Christian there. That is absolutely massive work coming out from them.
But all the while, Vernon Hills are able to get extra control on the point. They're building percentage this whole time. Charlie Barley able to get the flip there in the end, but they get it stolen back. Charlie Barley's going to receive a nano here as we approach final fight territory. Valley Christian looking to steal it back for the final time, and Charlie Barley picks up a pair. This tank line is just ferocious, absolutely ruthless for Valley Christian, but Vernon Hills, they overcome it in this fight. They will take Nepal, will take the opening map, same as they did back in week 7. The question is, can they put that momentum together? Can they keep it going and find revenge against this number 1 squad?
I mean, the stall was so huge there coming out of Valley Christian, but Vernon Hills on a 2-1 win, they take Nepal once again. So we're going to go ahead and go to Eichenwalde now. And looking at, we've already seen Vernon Hills capture the first point here. I'm sorry, we see Valley Christian capturing the first point here. Lots of ultimates online for Vernon Hills.
And this is exactly how it played out in week 7, but Valley Christian, they managed to win Eichenwalde in overtime before. Vernon Hills need to put up a big stop on this defense. And that 2K self-destruct will go a long way to halting progress in the streets of Eichenwalde as Cash comes up with a 3K in this very key fight.
I mean, the 2K self-destruct plus the 2 after that, but still, the push is very real coming through for Vernon Hills.
And this is the big difference. Valley Christian don't complete point B. It gives a lot of opportunity here. Zia throwing down the Blizzard to help close it out. And there's a Graviton Surge from Charlie Barley, but no late heroics this time from the off-tank player. The stall continues to come through, but there's Cash with yet another self-destruct. Oh, somehow the 3 members are able to hide, and Valley Christian send 2 into the D and hang on for a little bit longer. But they got to be perfect for 90 seconds if they want to claim Eichenwalde.
Yeah, and there's an Amp Matrix ready and available from Smash. Let's see what they can get through this. The extra double damage going through that window. Let's see if they have anything to defend against this.
And look at this, Cash on the Diva once again, coming up, shutting down Hyperpie and the Deadeye, able to clean off the high ground. It allows Vernon Hills to focus all their attention forward on this bridge. They can use this Blizzard, they can use this sound barrier, and throw all their guns in the same direction. The focus fire is there, they're finding the picks, and in this final bout of Eichenwalde, Vernon Hills smash it in and take a 2-0 lead over their rivals, Valley Christian.
Over the #1 seed, the undefeated Warriors out of Valley Christian High School. And I mean, they have everything to play for. We're in an overtime now as we switch to Hanamura. And I mean, they're fighting for their tournament lives right now in Bull Scout.
Yeah, you're looking at Valley Christian with a 4-minute 37 time bank. And Vernon Hills just desperately tried to get their third point in and hold this to a draw. But you got Fogra out here on the Tracer, making life difficult. If it's not the stellar tank line, it's these star-studded DPS, these powerhouses putting down the damage. And Valley Christian, they get a map point on the board, now down 1-2. Heading into Route 66.
Yeah, I mean, the McClure comp is absolutely coming out in spades for the side of Valley Christian. They are just absolutely decimating teams with their combos coming up. But a big two-piece coming out of Boss, but it might not be enough to turn the battle in their favor.
And Cash, once again, sticking with the Diva variant, the more common meta variant of this McFlurry Brawl. But it's Charlie Barley on the ground with that extra damage, able to drive Valley Christian all the way into point C. Here's a big grab coming from him. Speaking of, combined with an Ant Matrix, that is just vicious. That is just absolutely deadly. It makes me shiver and smile all at the same time.
Well, it appears that Vernon Hills did get 3 points on the board as well. So we're in extra innings here, and it looks like we're looking at a really nice push coming out from Vernon Hills. 30 seconds on the clock. This is in the extra innings, and let's see if they can get around Big Earls.
Yeah, it was Bosser with a big 3K, but they got taken out late in this fight. As Valley Christian are able to finish off Route 66, they tie it up and send it to that elusive map 5. In the end, Valley Christian walk away with the dub. They complete the full reverse sweep, coming all the way back. Vernon Hills were so close. They were so close to taking that. But it was extra innings in Route 66. They couldn't quite get the job done. And then they just get absolutely 2-0 smashed in the tiebreaker round. Oh, Vernon Hills sent home once again, defeated by Valley Christian. The Warriors out of San Jose move on to semifinals. But before we go take a look at that game, let's go take a look at another quarterfinals matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be the junior squad from the same school, Valley Christian High School, out of San Jose, going out and coming up against, I do believe, if I'm not correct, that is Mechanism. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is Mechanism coming out for them, coming out of, let's see. Coming out.
Yeah, we're looking at Thunder Esports out of Rockland, California, taking on the Valley Christian JV squad. And it's... Valley Christians are just so good. They've got both of their squads in playoffs right now. But it's Thunder Esports who are coming up big to start.
I mean, this is a 2.8 team going up against a 3.8 team, and they're absolutely taking it to them. They're going to win the first map here, barring a few cleanups.
Yeah. The JV squad for Valley Christian take map 1, or at least the first round on Mecha Base.
I mean, that's pretty convincing. I mean, that's 1,000 SR difference for all of you out there. When we say 2.8 and 3.8K, that is 1,000 SR difference. That is 2 full levels between the averages of these teams. And I'm telling you what, the junior squad, I've been impressed with them all season. Beautiful work, beautiful Blizzard to set up with the ball.
Yeah, try to keep the supports being able to follow Leolin and Jarbob into the fight as Leolin sacrifices themselves. But Dash is able to come through, get a pair. Jarbob had received the nano early. It kind of broke through the ranks. And once they got in, just the focus fire was really there. And Thunder Esports are able to divide their attention and break down the split members of Valley Christian JV squad. But coming back in, Valley Christian is able to take the point to 99. They've got their death ball comp firing on all cylinders, slaughtering anybody who gets near, including Jarbob with their Graviton Surge. Valley Christian JV are having none of it. They send them all back one by one.
Yeah, they take the first map over Thunder Esports pretty convincingly. So we're going to head to Eichenwalde now, and looks like it's a little bit different story going on right now. They're pushing hard. Big Deadeye, big eat from Jarbub, takes out both DPS ultimates.
Yeah, Jarbub able to start that one in their tracks. And, well, VCHSJV, they get about halfway through the castle of Eichenwalde, hoping that'll be enough to put themselves on match point against the undefeated Thunder Esports.
Yep, and I mean, here comes their defense right now. A little bit of over a minute off the clock here, and the stall is just real. What a beautiful window coming out, and the fire strike through is all they needed to get through to that point.
Yeah, you start off with 2 kills with a single fire strike, and, well, that point's pretty much done and dusted. Heading into the Streets phase, now the Blizzard's coming online, as well as Leolin's Shatter. Point drifts almost all the way around, as Cosmo sends Leolin down into the depths below, has that free Shatter out. That's going to find 3. And, I mean, they're making a fight out of this. They're not giving up Streets phase, you know, very easily at all, Billy.
No, they're not. I mean, Mechanism just swinging with impunity there. They're going to have some ultimates going into this next fight to hold for the defense. It looks like they were not able to hold the bridge there. So, minute 45 for Thunder Esports to be able to close out and tie up our series.
Now we've got the Junkrat coming out from Orange Fields, trying to span down here. Dash gets 2 with the Deadeye. Self-destruct in the back, finds a pair as well. I mean, that is 2 ultimates, 4 kills. You can't ask for much better value than that. Well done, well played. And Thunder Esports tie up the series after claiming the castle.
Yeah, I mean, they just got a little bit of cleanup to go right now. That's a big pin coming in from Mechanism, but takes them off the point, and point presence is what you needed to go there. So now we have gone to Paris, I do believe. We are in Paris. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're looking at the second attack coming out of VCHSJV, and their final opportunity to make something happen in extra innings. Thunder Esports are able to cap both points both times, sitting there with a score of 4 and 4 seconds on the board. VCHSJV struggling to get in. It looked like they were trying to change their comps up, find a way to break down this double shield composition, and just never quite found the answer. Here in the extra innings, Thunder Esports move up to match point heading into Rialto.
Yep, and I mean, lots of ultimates here for the offense, but it looks like they've got just the beautiful standard comp going on, the McFlurry comp going on. They're just denying so much value coming in here. Big window coming out from Radia here.
And they've been able to hold VCHSJV to just a little bit of progress with 65 seconds left on the board. They barely entered the courtyard. Shatter gets blocked. Counter Blizzard out from the defending Thunder Esports, along with a Deadeye picking up a pair. And with 53 seconds left, this squad just will not be broken down. The defense of Thunder Esports too strong. And Dash, a big part of that with this McCree.
Yeah, but I mean, 2.5 minutes left to go, and I mean, they're pushing hard. They've got ultimates online. They're going to have so much to go. I don't even know if there's going to be a contest here. This could be the junior squad's last gasp. Big Dragons over the point doesn't get any joy.
No, it's the Winston coming through with the big 3K at the end, allowing Thunder Esports to claim Rialto, take the series 3-1, and punch their tickets into the semifinals.
Yep, and I mean, semifinals will be coming up here in just a few moments.
And that was, I liked the swap from Thunder Esports there at the end. We got just a quick glimpse of their double bubble. And if you can execute double bubble effectively, it is such a strong composition. It just opens up a lot more space and a lot more maps are not just viable, but it gives you quite an edge. If you can play that composition well, really utilize high ground, you can put so much pressure on the back line, and it just gives you way more options. So that's I'm excited to see more Thunder Esports, that double bubble at the end, and that Winston play in particular. Ooh, that was spicy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the sustainability of the Winston in there. I mean, just getting that from Jarbob. They look like they have a lot of symmetry across the maps that we got to see. And I know it's a little bit rapid there because we've got a lot of stuff to bring you tonight. But I got to tell you what, I mean, if that's anything to be looking forward to, let's see what they do in the semifinals.
Indeed. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know, stay tuned for Intel's Winner's Circle. It's an invitational tournament beginning in June. It's going to be 14th to 25th, where some of the best esports teams nationwide will compete for over $50,000 in prizes, including a guaranteed $1,000 in scholarships to every participating school's esports team. The matches for the top teams for Overwatch, Valor, and Super Smash Brothers Ultimate will be streamed live on Twitch here at twitch.tv/Generation Esports.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And I mean, and a bit of an extended time for the high school season as well. That could be very, very beneficial to teams that are trying to get their esports program off the ground and kind of enhance it as well.
Absolutely. Well, with that said and done, let's take a look at our bracket for semifinals. So we're going to getting down into the top 4 here in HSEL. Valley Christian will be moving on to go up against Acton Boxborough. Apple Bananas out of Massachusetts. Thunder Esports coming out of Rockland, California, going up against the Maroons.
Maroons. I'm the Maroons.
The Maroons.
The Maroons A, not Maroons 5. That's yeah. I mean, I'm looking at, based upon what we just saw from both the number 1 and number 2 seeds, this could be very interesting. We haven't had a chance to see Maroons or Apple Banana during any broadcast during our season, so we're kind of going into this a little bit blind. But I mean, the action's going to be spicy, I'm sure, and we'll be able to commentate it. But without further ado, let us get our first semifinal up on the screen.
Yeah, this is going to be Valley Christian versus Apple Bananas. Right out of the gate, we're getting a Nano Blade on the screen. Rattlesnake trying and eventually able to cut through 2 with that. And that's all you need. You get a pair with that Genji Blade, and it just opens it up. Rattlesnake going in there with 2 more nice kills after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, 76% gained off that first take. But look at this, 96%. Big Deadeye coming out from Hyperpie. He picks up 2 with that.
Yeah, in the final fight on Shrine. Coming through. Snip's not going to get anything with that shatter, but is going to charge forward. Force Grimlim and ZDD off of the point. They get the flip. And Valley Christian, your number 1 seed, threatening to hang on. Dip Thunder got to touch in. I appreciate the effort. Go through. You keep the overtime wick burning. But alas, Valley Christian walk away with round 1.
Yes, they do. And I mean, Snips has just been putting on a normal Snip. So what a shatter once again! Picks up 3 in that.
Just sit back, avoiding the damage from that Ant Matrix. Didn't want to chase anything down. Nice patience out of Valley Christian. They wait it out, and then they move in and strike. Oh my goodness. This squad has just been so impressive all year long.
It really has been. I mean, Big Tire coming in from Charlie Gator. Not any joy from that. Grin with the shatter. Last second ditch effort to get the point. But nay. Valley Christian is looking absolutely unstoppable right now. Charlie, Barley, and Snips just taking so much space and being so smart with their cooldowns and just really taking it to the team.
Full girl with that wall to deny the Riptire coming in. That was a thing of beauty. What a big heads-up play to keep Valley Christian in control. They were able to take that second round 100-0. First one to 199. First one super close. Second round, not so much, as Valley Christian looked to really find their stride, and we see him again here just barreling through Eichenwalde. They put up a mean time on their attack.
Yeah, Rattlesnake did everything they could to try and stall the inevitable, but no joy there. Oh my goodness, look at the score here. We are at 6-5, 10 seconds left to go for the squad from Valley Christian. They might lose this map.
I mean, and it just goes to show that impressive time that they put up. Well, Apple Bananas was able to answer back. Now they're trying to hold the line. Here's the very end. But no! Snips gets a 3K fire strike into a huge graviton from Charlie Barley. And Valley Christian, this is why they're the number 1 seed. They dig deep when it matters most. Coming through with the clutch plays. Clutch Charlie on the scene sends us into yet another round of Eichenwalde. This is going to be the 3rd attack from both teams.
I mean, they each get a minute, and I mean, here we go. Valley Christian Hyperpie on this McCree. We've seen it all season long, all 4 appearances that we've seen from Valley Christian. This player has absolutely shredded all day long and twice on Sundays, and just getting so much value once again. Look at that wall once again from Foie Gras.
The second game, or I mean, these kill-finding wall that they put up, high-value May walls coming out of Flogger and it enables them to capture this point, narrowly edging out Eichenwalde at a 7-6. When was the last time you saw that, friends? Holy cow.
We're getting more of the bonus action here going on. I mean, look at the score right now. We do see that the Apple Bananas have captured Volskaya twice, but now we got the push coming from Valley Christian.
Oh, Rattlesnake with that blade, though. Gets 3, gets 4 with the Genji blade. And all they got to do is hold on for another 70 seconds, and they can tie up the series, or at least catch up in the series.
I mean, they're going to be looking at it hard. I mean, the bubbles coming out from Charlie Barley have absolutely kept Snips in these matches and in these engagements and really allowing them to swing freely. Immortality Barrier has to come out to keep them up. So much damage coming in. I mean, you were at 10 seconds, Valley Christian. You were about to lose this map.
Once again, though, it's up to AB in the final seconds to hold on the defense. 4-4. At least send us through it a draw. The kills go back and forth. Snips has gotten 3 and is still alive on this point. They finally take down the Reinhardt player with Snips gone. Volskaya ends in a 4-4 draw. AB keep their hopes alive.
Man, what amount of work coming out from those players of AB. They had everything against them, and man, are they just getting absolutely lit into it.
So we head to Oasis, where Fogarov finds 3 with a dead eye. Hyperpie just takes a nap and watch Fogarov do all the work. Hyperpie is going to pop a late Primal Rage. Try to send Satchel into the drink. Can't quite get him off the edge. Is forced to just fly out of there. But you can see 95-0 on the percentage. You had to control Valley Christian back in their wheelhouse. They don't give up a single tick.
Oh my goodness. And it will be that Valley Christian do take the second map of Oasis. They take it 2-0 and they do win the series in a 3-0 sweep, even though there was a Drolskaya sighting today. So, I mean, so many extra innings. The battle between these two teams, I mean, it was with the number 1 seed versus the number 5 seed. And we had not had a chance to see Apple Bananas all season on stream. But, man, did they put up a heck of a fight. Great season to them. Semifinal number 2 is going to be the Thunder Esports team versus Maroons A, 2 seed versus 6 seed. 3.8K from the Thunder Esports, and then 3.8K as well from the Maroons. So this should be a very evenly matched semifinal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that action.
Yeah, I mean, only one map loss between, or should I say series loss between the two teams. You've got the Maroons in red, fittingly enough. Thunder Esports coming out, trying to make something happen here, but it's the ultimates, despite the DPS also on the other side. It's those dragons. Massive play from Griffin on the Hanzo. Yet in the end, it's not enough. Thunder Esports end up tanking Sanctum. Now they've got the Maroons trapped in this tiny hallway. We've got some tiny Overwatch going on here, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jarbob, once again, we were talking about how flexible they were between the Zarya and the Diva. It is showing up once again. Griffin, though, back into the kill feed, and Leolin is just swinging. He's ready to drop a hammer anytime now.
Oh, it's Vyro dropping the hammer left and right. Even a Keyfire strike in there just for good measure. They get some percentage going, but Thunder Esports is able to steal it back and build up a lot of ultimates. Tossing Dragons out, Pied picks up 2. Ant Matrix keeping anybody from Maroons from even getting close to this point. Thunder Esports chase them down and only need 9% to take the opening map.
I mean, Dash and Pied right now. I want to say Pied, but, you know, Dice a Pied, okay? So, yeah, we would like to make sure that we call them Rockland High School now. Sorry about that. We will love to do that. Sorry about that, folks. So, Rockland High School Esports here, Thunder Esports, are on a 2-0 lead right now, Volskak, as we head into Eichenwalde.
And you're gonna open up with Zarya Gaming, finding 3 kills right out of the gate. That's a first fight win here for the Maroons. They're going to pick up point A and get that cart rolling with tons of time, even approaching the back of point B. Still plenty of time in the bank, but it looks like we're going to have a contest coming through from Rockland High School.
Yeah, Rockland High School is not willing to give up the bridge that easily. Huge work out of Leland and Pine again. That is some serious holding power right there, and sub 2 minutes. This is going to be a bit difficult for them. They can actually throw a lot of damage on top of Rockland High School here. They just have to weather the storm.
Griffin is going to get rezzed back up into the fight. Graviton surge in as the barrage come out. Yes, over the top. Barrage finds 2. Make that 3 for Griffin on the far, and it's enough to batter down these doors.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 ultimates into that fight as well, so that's going to pick them up the second point. Rockland High School on the back foot, 1.94 meters to defend against with a ball and a Lucio on the point. This is in very dire straits for them.
Sorry, Gaming just got that grab online. Grab comes out, but Sorry Gaming goes down. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Oh, and Jarbob gets the rematch kill on Vero. No more tanks left. The staying power is pretty much off the table. And the Rockland High School, well, they hang on Eichenwalde, but they got to get almost to the end.
I mean, now it's all to play for here. They are up 1-0 Rockland High School in our semifinal here in Leland. Look at the work that they're doing for Rockland High School on the ball right now, getting so much value, a 3K into that. And Rockland High School has the momentum going into point 3 of Eichenwalde.
Coming in, Zarya finds 2 kills on the defense. They got a big hold ahead of them, though.
Dink.
The Rockland Thunder have been able to put a lot of time on the board. They're able to push in and claim both of these spawn doors. Now this is a tough ask for the defense. Maroons coming out. They're going to lose Viral on the approach. Zarya cannot build up the rest of that Graviton surge. Could have been the one they needed, but no. Step by step, the Rockland Thunder are able to control that point, and they go up 2-0 in the series.
They absolutely do. Now we're going to one of the most beloved maps in all of Overwatch. It is going to be massive coming out here from Rockland High School Dash on the Farah. Nano Barrage over the top. Are you kidding me? That picks up 3.
Yeah, nice place from Leland, moving in, taking care of that immortality field. It opened things up for Dash to get the second 2 kills. Good coordinated effort as Rockland pushed in, and now we're heading on into extra innings. Both teams are able to cap. You got 10 seconds left in this round as a 2 kill comes through from Jarbob. Make that a 3rd for Jarbob on the Diva. EMP out, but there's nobody left to follow up on it. And the Maroons peter out in the extra innings of Paris. Thunder Esports able to take that one. They move on to the grand finals. They will face Valley Christian Varsity Squad, both undefeated teams, your number 1 and number 2 seed, landing in the grand finals, a match which we're going to bring you live here in just a little bit.
I mean, this was a beautiful path for all these teams to get here now. And I mean, this is our final bracket. You do see Valley Christian taking the 3-0 win in 4 maps over the number 5 seed Apple Banana from Acton Foxborough out of Massachusetts. And then we see Rockland Esports, the Thunders, coming out of Rockland, California over Maroons A 3-0. I mean, that was pretty dominant work coming out of Rockland. So Valley Christian has been one of the more dominant teams. We've seen them so many times on stream. And man, now that we're going to get a chance to see Rockland Esports, we always used to laugh at each other, say, who are these other teams? I wish we could see them next week, and we're very excited. So, I mean, it's extra exciting for me because now we get to see a new team that we haven't seen all year. We get to see new students. We get to see new team synergies. I mean, I'm all excited and happy for it.
Well, speaking of excited and happy, we've got our top 5 plays of the playoffs coming at you right now. Starting things off, our number 5 play of the postseason. It's going to be Mechanism. Coming out from Valley Christian's junior varsity squad. Looking with the fat shatter here on point B of Eichenwalde. Puts 3 on the ground, goes and smashes them to bits. And, just hammer down the baby diva just for good measure.
Number 4 is going to be, it's going to be Snips, but I'm also giving the massive assist to Charlie Farley here. You're going to see just the work, the grab. There goes the window, and then just the swing batter through everybody. And that is a deathly kill coming out of Snips.
That's a huge assist going over to Charlie Barley, just for the record. That squad, that duo. Here we go, number 3. It's Griffin coming out with the dragon. Ooh, with a beautiful headshot. And the blind dragons down the hallway into the grab. Beautiful play, claiming our top 3 spot.
Number 2 is going to be Dash, coming out from our final semifinal. And look at this. This is Rockland Esports just saying, I own you. You're God. Nano Barrage +2 after that. Such great work and coordination from that team right there.
And your number 1 play of the HSEL playoffs is Wish on the McCree. Into the Graviton Surge, throws the Deadeye down, is going to pick up 4 with that, falls into the shot, going for the ace. No, gets robbed in the ace by Dunkin' Donut. Dunkin' Donut, that was just mean. That was just mean, my friend.
That was rude.
Rude.
Wait. Let me do my best Widowmaker. Rude.
Fantastic play.
Yes!
from Wish. And well deserving of our number 1 slot. All right. We are going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it is grand finals time. You've got Rockland High School Thunder taking on the Valley Christian Warriors. We got it in its entirety. We've got it live. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you on the other side.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HSEL Nationals. It is an amazing day for Overwatch. We are looking forward to seeing the matchup today as we look to try and again see which one of these teams is going to go into the opportunity to try and claim that prize pool.
There's kids that are in my program that would walk around and have nobody at school to talk to. And now those same kids have like a great group of friends. They're happier. Their parents are ecstatic. Why wouldn't you want to give that to a group of kids that don't have it? Just because you don't understand.
Okay, yes, they're playing video games, but you gotta look past that and also see why are they playing it and what are they doing with it.
There's not a lot of knowledge about gamers out there, you know, so people just don't know what they don't know.
It's really collaborative, like a sport. I mean, it is a sport. I mean, it's new that I think it's hard for people to understand that it's a sport.
They have to develop teamwork like any other physical game does.
We got to get rolling. This is where it becomes big time. We've been working all year for this. SLP on 3. 1, 2, 3. SLP!
Thank you so very much for all of you who have tuned in and watched the HSEL Nationals. The 5-map pool today will be Hollywood, Kings Row, Nepal, Lijiang Tower, and Oasis.
I mean, it's interesting to see just how many schools there are this year and how many schools you're beating out to be in the top 8. It's insane.
Joseph is our youngest. He's 17. He was diagnosed with autism at age 4. Not an excuse. He's still Joseph.
Everybody is welcome. You want to come play esports for me? Come play for me. That is the mentality that we have in esports. All right, here we go. St. Louis Park looking for that repeat national title. The only #1 seeds left in the tournament. Nova Kid does drop. Tosi is now on. Now he's feeling it. Get these shots, Tosi. Now he's feeling it. Boom. The point of this is for people to find a place where they belong, make friends, learn discipline, learn teamwork, learn reaction to setbacks.
Triple kill coming out in favor of SLP as they now are starting to look to turn it around.
Frank, I got you. Nice job here. You're confident.
Another solid hold here with an entire team kill for SLP.
When he plays, he wins.
To see if they can keep it into overtime, and that's not going to be enough. That will be SLP claiming the first 3 victories here, best of 5, and they will be going into the finals.
Well, we move on.
Well, the moment you've all been waiting for is upon us. It is grand finals time. Chef Billy and myself returning to bring you all the action live right here. Valley Christian take on Thunder Esports for the title, hailing out of Rockland, California High School. But before we get into that, I want to remind y'all that HSEL is excited to join forces with NASEF, the North America Scholastic Esports Federation. They provide free scholarship esports programs to help you learn how to turn your love for esports into an awesome career. Students can participate in free tournaments, scrims, and esports-based challenges. Free resources all available for educators to lead scholastic esports programs and in and out of the classroom. Game, grow, learn, and lead with NASEF and create your own free esports club today. Visit nasef.org for more details.
I mean, it's time. It is time, Bull Skunk.
It is time.
We are going to finally see the culmination of 8 weeks of a regular season, plus our playoffs that happened earlier in last week. And now, live, we get to see Rockland High School versus Valley Christian High School in the grand finals. We're going to go ahead and show you our map set for the day as we take a look at where we are going to be going today. I do know and can tell you right now that Valley Christian High School banned Ilios, so we are going to start off in Nepal.
Indeed, this is a 1st-to-4 series. And just a reminder on format, the high seed got first ban. After that, the winner of the previous map will get to ban out one of the 3 maps in the pool. The loser of the previous map then gets to choose where we go. This will go on for the first 4 maps. Final 3 maps, if necessary, will be the 1 remaining map in the pool. Starting off on Nepal, Valley Christian very strong on this map. I'm expecting to see the Reinhardt Zarya, particularly on Shrine and Village. We're going to be looking at Snips and Charlie Barley versus Ledlin and Jarbob all day long. Snips and Charlie Barley have been an infamous tank duo from out this league. And I think that's where the rubber's going to meet the road. It's all going to start there. We can talk about the rest of the lineups as you will, Billy. But I really want to take a moment and highlight these two because Ledlin and Jarbob are going to have their work cut out for them. But from what we've seen so far in the playoffs, they are up to the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the thing that I really want to bring out is that I saw Jarbob really being flexible between the Zarya and the Diva, whereas Charlie Barley tends to stay with the Zarya a lot more. Also, secondary battle is going to be McCree versus McCree. I saw Dash, and we all know that HyperPie both have flexed very hard to the McCree and have had lots of success. We've seen a lot. We've seen the HyperPie in the backpacking before. But Charlie Barley and Snips have really showcased their wares on the backpacking, showing up, I believe, a total of 4 times between the two of them. Man, I'm really going to lean into this tank battle because, you and I are main tank players. I always bring this up in a lot of our broadcasts at what we play. These kids could probably clean my clock very easily. I'm very scared of them, and I'm very excited to see what we're going to see out of these two teams. Rockland versus Valley Christian. Here we go. Bang a gong, get it on. Let's start in Nepal.
We are going to start off on Shrine. Rounding out the roster, you will have Dash and Pied in the DPS lineup. Here for Rockland High School, Hex and Radia keeping the team alive and standing on the other side. Fogron, HyperPie, you've kept up with HSEL Homeroom Overwatch. These are names that you have seen pop up a couple times before. Then with Shagma and Blue Sky in the support role. Fogron's May, this is another one we've got to contend with. And right now, just looking at compositions, I like what Rockland Esports are bringing out. They're not going to opt into the Brawl Mirror just yet. They're coming out with a bit of a dive composition. They're going to look to surround this point and pick off any members of Valley Christian that stray outside of that death ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Bull Skunk, the one linchpin into this is the healers. You've got single target healing out of both, other than the nade. But I think that if Leolin can get into the back line of the Warriors and really take it to them, I think they're going to have a massive problem. If they keep the Warriors' head on a swivel, there's the anti coming and picking up 3, which is exactly where I was leaning into this.
Yeah, Dash is going to go in and immediately put a flurry of sticky bombs into the pack, but they lose Radia. This means that Jarbob could be in a lot of trouble early. That's the primary source of healing gone. If they could get a res on a Radia, that'd be huge. But no, there is no such luck. Radia is back in spawn. Pied's able to take down Shagma on the other side. So now there's the support missing for Valley Christian as they're trying to push into this choke. But they're not finding any room to work. Charlie Barley picks up that kill, but you can see Rockland High School slowly closing the gap, starting to surround, and they're starting to get the kills.
Yeah, Valley Christian really pushed that smartly. And look at this charge. Charlie Barley is probably one of the best Zarya bubble managers in this league. And they have shown their wares so many times. And look at this. They are absolutely trying to close the gap onto that high charge Zarya. No joy. And they're going to get the flip here now at 16%.
Yep, Valley Christian aren't going to waste any time coming back in, though. They get an early pick on the Dash. They're going to run up, throw their Ant Matrix down. Big sleep on the Fogra. That's huge, because that keeps the wall from coming up and denying the escape of Leolin or Jarbob. Jarbob does eventually go down, not before dropping some mines on this point. HyperPie sitting in the back, try to take things in their own hands, but Dash is going to duplicate into a Reinhardt, throws down an early shatter, gets the pin kill onto Charlie Barley. What a hero play coming from Dash. They're going to get taken out of that duplicate right towards the end. Got to deal with HyperPie. Does! Lands the sticky, lands the focusing beam, and Dash almost single-handedly maintains control.
Oh, that's just hero play if I've ever seen one. Now they have the nano available to keep Jarbob up during the mid-fight. Once they drop low, they've also got the primal rage. So there's so much staying power going into this next fight for Rockland Esports that you are just not going to be able to really dislodge them, other than maybe a Graviton Surge coming out of Charlie Barley.
Oh, but this is Charlie Barley we're talking about. Those Graviton Surges are absolute fight-winning. That is no small feat to overcome. It's going to be the Nano Boost on the Jarbob to start things off. Now Graviton surges in and finds 3. Snips is asleep, though. Can't really follow up on it. HyperPie and Shagma able to get some shots in. Find a couple kills as a result of that Graviton surge. HyperPie threw down the Deadeye there. I think it might have been just for a reload to help put some more peppering bullets down onto Jarbob. They eventually find that kill.
Yeah, but look at the percentage climbing up 94%. They contested that for an additional 20% of permanent progress, Full Skunk. So this is last fight territory here for the Warriors. They only invested the 2 ultimates into that last fight, though. Rockland expended absolutely everything in their arsenal to try and extend the fight out. And so now it's a build-up for Rockland Esports to get back up to any kind of ultimate economy. And all the time, big anti coming in from Radio once again.
Pi going in to try to follow up on that 3-man anti-nade. Forces out an immortality field. Now Dash is coming in. Is going to burn down Fulgura. Charlie Barley is able to find one, but not before Pi is able to take down Hyper. And it's a +1 to Rockland as they look to come in and retake this first map for the final time. Mines over the point, and another duplicate from Dash onto the Reinhardt once again. Misses the charge, but there's a big bionade onto Snips. Snips can't get any healing. Snips goes down. Rockland Esports pushing forward with that doppelganger shield, and the percentage is starting to come through. The flip is there, 98-99. Charlie Barley has to sacrifice themselves to start overtime. Fulgura returns with the Blizzard. Blizzard's able to get a couple, including Hex on that Mercy. Hyperpie falls in the interim, though. Leolin receives a nano boost onto the Wrecking Ball. Not a typical target, but putting a lot of hurt down onto the Snips. And combined with Pi, they're able to burn down that health pool of the Reinhardt. A newly nerfed health pool, might I add. Charlie Barley's bio focuses down. Focusing beam finds 2 out of Dash. But Focross managed to land 2 icicles on the heads. Just plant them clean right between the eyes. And Valley Christian are not out of this just yet.
Oh, no, they're not. And there's the res up on the Dash, and now they have the problem once again. Overtime Wick is starting to burn super fast because of how long this extended fight has been going on. You do see Blue Sky coming back in on the Moira. Moira throwing out that burst, healing right now, and Charlie Barley has gone over to the Diva to try to mitigate some kind of damage and get up into Dash's face.
Yeah, I mean, just anything to get back on this point as quick as they can. But Jarbob's got this primal ready to go whenever they need it. Haven't even popped it yet. Charlie Barley's going to get focused down. Snips as well. And Rockland High School managed to take round 1 after an insane final battle.
Bullskunk, there is a Dash problem on the field right now, and VCHS have not been able to solve that problem yet. I think Charlie Barley going over to the Diva is going to help solve that. But do you go with the Diva here? Do you bring that out once again and give up the support and the enabling of Snips to just swing like a madman? Because Leolin and Jarbob took it to one of the most dominant tank lines in our league and made them look very small. Coming out from Radia, the Ana, I thought they were going to have problems getting into the backline, but I mean, the lobs were absolutely massive. And now, I mean, we're looking at McFlurry comp kind of coming out from Rockland, a little bit of deviation with the Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo just gives you a lot more shield break and a lot more overall damage, but you don't have quite the sustain and you don't have the utility of that flashbang. It's going to be Valley Christian moving directly onto the point. Rockland Thunder sitting up high. Tried to land those tree trunks down, and Snip Shield was already looking a little worse for wear. Speeding across. Rockland High School drop in onto the back, force some bubbles out, but Dash goes down on the approach. Good early pick. Valley Christian are going to be extremely hard to dislodge off this point. This small little box on Village, it just really favors the comp Valley Christian are bringing.
Yep, and once they had first control of the point, they knew the rotations that they had to have to absorb the damage coming in. Snips' shield did go quite low, but he was able to kite back and be able to just get back and really let that shield recharge, and then they were just back in there with a fighter's punch going in to Rockland. And now, I mean, Hyde right now is going to have to start landing some shots.
Rockland saw an opportunity and tried to speed into the point, but Maywall from Fulgura just slows that down. Dash got caught on the wrong side of the tracks. And once again, it's Dash falling first in the fight for quick +1. A +1 that Valley Christian are quick to take advantage of. They're going to move in, burn down Pi. No more DPS left standing. As Leolin desperately tried to get out of there, but there was Maywalls, there was Shagma's boots. Leolin just, oh man, that was painful to watch.
That looked like an old 80s arcade pinball machine right there, except it was Reinhardt and Leolin as the ball. I mean, 50% now for VCHS as they start to assert their dominance here on Village. Look at this. We've seen Jarbob now stop over to the Diva, so they're probably going to be looking for an eat on the Graviton surge of Charlie Barley.
That would be a big eat. Initial Maywall, I think, used defensively. Valley Christian getting in. Dash is going to throw it on the Blizzard. In fact, both Blizzards are out. Both Immortality Fields are out. Deadeye from Hyperpie trying to be the difference maker here. And once that immortality field is dealt with, the shatter coming in from Snips. The signature shatter coming through. And Clutch Charlie there on the job to clean it up.
Bull Skunk, that is like Snips' favorite place to shatter. We've seen it in backpacking before, and we see it again there. The 180 flick shatter from Snips, absolutely laying everybody out. I mean, and it's 94%. Rockland have 4 ultimates ready to go, including a self-destruct if Jarbob can get some work on this.
Oh, but that's another great Maywall for Fulk. Oh, frozen out of the shatter. Hyde is able to throw some dragons out, and it's a 5-5, but Leland absent from this point. There's a lot of pressure on Jarbob to clean this thing up, to close it out, and to try to batter down this massive Ryan Zarya tank line of Snips and Charlie Barley, and they are just not having any of it. There's a Maywall used to block the self-destruct. Don't even have to waste Snip's shield to do that, nor Bubbles. With the cooldowns fully at hand, Valley Christian are able to turn away this contest with ease and take a 100-0 to send us over to Sanctum.
Oh man, I mean, Masters of Brawl right now, if I'm looking at the Brawl mirror, that might be being on showcase in the later maps tonight. I think that Valley Christian might have a bit of an edge into that, especially with Pied working the Hanzo on that. You didn't have the flashbang, you didn't have the CC ability in there to kind of stop people in their tracks. So as we head to Sanctum, this is the outlier of all the Nepal maps. Do you go for something a little bit different? Do you go for boopies? Do you go for a donkey horse sighting, which might throw a wrench into, you know, what any team might be expecting because you're looking for that halt to come out? But no, looks like we're gonna have a full mirror here, except for the off tanks.
Yep, Charlie's sticking with that Zarya, no big surprise there. In lieu of what you were talking about, Rockland High School are bringing Pied still in the Hanzo, but with the McCree as well, so you do get that extra flashbang. But Hyper Pie has brought out the Hanzo of their own, able to find first blood with that. Snips gets the better end of the duel with Leland, and that's a quick 2-player advantage. Valley Christian gonna chase Rockland all the way back to that door.
Yeah, and it's a quick 100 charge for Charlie Barley as well. Like I said, this player on the Zarya gets such a fast rate of charge for their particle beams that it just is not even fair. I mean, look at this. They're just burning down the members of Rockland Esports here.
Yeah, Pied tried to jump over and get sneaky with it and realized that there was just way too much damage. They lost Leland too fast, and just no room for Rockland High School to work.
I mean, just look at this. I mean, they have been at a consistent 80-plus charge since the first fight, and we're at 20% now. They already have Grab online, one of the first ultimates ready to go.
Combined with an amplification matrix, so the follow-up is definitely there, especially when you got a Hanzo and a McCree shooting through that. That's a lot of damage. Speaking of a lot of damage, Dash opens things up with a preemptive Deadeye, able to take Snips out of the fight. This might just negate all of the aforementioned. The Grabs comes out, and there is a kill, not to mention actually 2 kills because of it, and Leland goes down, so there's no more Reinhardts on the battlefield right now. Volgrau with a later Deadeye tilts the balance in Valley Christian's favor as Snips returns to the fight, and Volgrau is able to clean up.
Oh, bye-bye. I mean, that is just a very quick turn. Charlie Barley actually was on the flank and tried to go over to get the Mega, and was, you know, flying Rockland when they were trying to hold door there, and that is absolutely massive coming from Charlie Barley to have the presence of mind to let the Graviton surge out in that moment, and they just cleaned up after that.
Oh, these dragons can be huge! Oh my goodness, caught in that tiny area. Valley Christian scrambled, fortunate to only lose 1. Charlie Barley with the response. And the Dragon's coming out from Hyper Pie. This one over the point. Self-destruct thrown in from Jarbob as a last second. And it finds 2! It gets Snips and Shagma down. Leland tries to throw down the Shatter to stave off death, but cannot. Charlie Barley's aura is just too strong. Will not be denied.
Oh my goodness, what a fight there from both squads, putting it all on the line, not wanting to go down early in our grand final. It's all to play for here on Sanctum. 90% and an amp base that's ready to go for Blue Sky.
Oh, but Blue Sky falls immediately. Nice speed move from the Thunder as they're able to move right onto the point. Rockland High School do lose Dash. They don't have the McCree coming into this. It's up to Pied to get the work done. Charlie Barley at 90-plus charge, as always, going through into the back line. try to come in and flank on the rest of Rockland High School, who have pushed all the way up the stairs. They've dropped an amp matrix of their own from the outside. Pine doesn't even need it to take down Charlie Barley. It's a huge kill. Graviton Surge goes down with them. Snips falls off the side. Shagma trying to bring it back. It's a nice boop, but Rockland get the flip.
Yep, and I think that Snips is going to be the last back to the fight as well, unless Shagman goes back and taxis them. But there's 3 ultimates ready to go for Rockland Esports. They could actually hold this point very strong over bridge and really deny the aggression coming in from Valley Christian. But Valley Christian just speeds on a point, and they are not taking no for an answer.
Dash's impact has been very limited, very hamstrung in this series. Going down early, the 3-man shatter comes through from Snips. Dragons over the top of it, and there's just no escape. Caught between a hammer and a hard place. Valley Christian put down the vice and clampic shot, taking Sanctum and Nepal in a 1-0 lead in our grand finals.
But it was 2-1. And very competitive from both teams. We're seeing the 2 juggernauts of the HSEL bash heads, bash hammers, bash shields together. And in the end, it was a shatter and a dragon to seal the deal there. Look at this once again. Snips has been doing this all season long. Bull Scout, we are in for a treat here tonight. That was absolutely gargantuan from these 2 juggernauts.
I totally thought you were going to say a shatter and a dream. And I was like, that's a big dream coming out of Snips. Like, that's Snips dreams real big. Dreams real big. Huge clutch plays. I want to go back to the Brawl Mirror, because the Brawl Mirror certainly looks to favor Valley Christian right now. It's that tank line that we've been talking about ad nauseum here for the first map of this grand finals. And you can see why. You can see why we go on at such at lengths about these 2. It's a dominant force. The one map that the Rockland Thunder were able to pull out is when they're able to play something a little different. They're able to bring out the Wrecking Ball and the Winston and play the Echo and get in there. I want to see Dash on the Echo more. Dash's Echo was insane. When they swapped over to the May and over to the McCree, the positioning seemed to get punished a little bit. I think if Rockland High School can choose a map where they can get back to more of these dive double bubble style compositions, they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, because we do know, and because of the highlights that we saw, and because of the semifinal match that we got to see of them, Jarbob does have the Zarya in the back pocket, so
sure. That is
absolutely on the table. Double bubble could absolutely really work into this. Our next map is going to be a hybrid map, and let's take a look at the map set and see where we're going to go.
Looks like we're heading to Eichenwalde. That'd be the choice of Rockland High School. That's right, I said Eichenwalde. I'm doing my darndest to pronounce it properly. Okay, Billy, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
I'm proud of you.
This is actually an interesting choice because it does give you the option for both of the aforementioned compositions. More recently, we have seen more and more brawl on Eichenwalde, but there's still room. There's still high ground to play with. So there's still room to bring in a little double bubble. We'll see what Rockland chooses to come out with.
I mean, honestly, as long as the bubble management, not only of the Winston, but also of the Zarya, if they do end up running that kind of composition, that's going to be the first thing that we need to key in on is how are they rotating those cooldowns? And, how long does Jarbob hold on to that projected barrier and allowing them to save the Winston in that moment? So, I mean, really, Leo Lynn's going to have to be very careful if they do decide to run that composition. They're going to have to be very careful in that moment. Also, they could run this monkey Wrecking Ball dive that we saw them use to great effect on Shrine. So we'll see what they decide to bring out here. We'll also see who's on what side, who's going to attack first, who's going to defend first. And we're going to head into Eichenwalde right now and seeing what they have up their sleeves.
We are going to get Rockland on the defense first. We'll give a moment to see what they choose to come out of the gate with.
Ready for battle.
It looks like they are showing us a little bit of that dive. Pi going back over to the Hanzo. Dash on the May though. Okay, no, Leolin is going to go ahead and swap over to the Reinhardt at the last second. While I'm eyeballing the DPS, Leolin makes that swap. And it's a little bit of that arrow flurry comp.
Yeah, I mean, it's frozen rope, for any lack of a better term of it. Jarbob obviously is going to be the one that's going to be able to contest high ground and make sure that, the damage mitigation is there from all angles. Also going to be able to have the escapability to get away from those walls that Foie Gras has been known for in this Brawl mirror. So standard comp, McFlurry coming out from VCHS on the attack. Let's see whose strategy actually wins the day.
We're looking for some good wall usage. So important, because this is all about cooldowns in this matchup. It's who can get the cooldowns out and then recognize that win condition, recognize that weakness, and pursue. Try to find those kills. If it doesn't work out, you kite back without losing anybody.
The other thing into this bull skunk is that you have the ability to eat the fire strikes. That's the other thing that the D.Va provides in this. It doesn't allow Snips to build up to that all-important Earth Shatter.
And automatically, Snips goes down early. You can see Leolin leading in that ult charge by quite a bit. They're a solid 15% over Snips at the moment.
Yep, and that's the D.Va effect right there. That is absolutely the D.Va effect, and I think that's a calculated risk on Rockland's part, and right now it's starting to really pay off. I mean, 15%, 60% advantage over Snips, and we see what Snips does. Once they get to position they feel like they are empowered to go in with that shatter, he usually lands multi-man shatters.
Good Maywald start things off. Ant Matrix from the defense will break that down pretty quickly. It allows for the Immortality Field to come through, but it's still not enough. Hyperpie is able to take that out. Leland goes down. Pushing past the Ant Matrix, Charlie Barley moves in, takes Radia out of the fight, and the Blizzard is thrown in from Dash. That enables a couple kills from the DPS. Dragons come out. Charlie Barley throws in the Graviton Surge. It's a race to see who can get the damage in, and a 3v3 left on the point. Charlie, Blue Sky, Hyperpie, all finding the goods. You've got Hex with just a tick of health left. Hyperpie's Deadeye will take care of that.
Oh my goodness, and they pulled the trigger literally with just no time to spare, as we saw Hex almost get behind the shield of Leolin there. Look at that, Snips gets his shatter first. So, I mean, the Ryan v. Ryan battle that we were alluding to earlier today, it is absolutely on display here. And it's not even so much that the tank line is doing the most, which they are. It's the support play around it. Shygma and Blue Sky keeping the team up through the mid-fight. Hex and Radia putting on so much pressure and allowing their DPS to really pressure in to Rockland.
Foie Gras. Oh, they've got to find a way to counter these walls. Leolin with the big shatter. That's a 6-man shatter, and it interrupted Snips' Earth Shatter as well. Bringing the thunder, though. Leolin, doesn't have the follow-up. It did not strike twice. It was all noise and no lightning. No power in to follow up on that big Earth Shatter, and this cart continues to roll. Foie Gras with a late pick.
Oh, my word. I mean, but Hyde right now on this Hanzo is absolutely showing the value that you can bring with a Hanzo into this mirror. I mean, the ability to just fire in a one-shot potential from range. They can't close the gap on him fast enough.
Maywald from Foie Gras. Value that Ant Matrix momentarily. Graviton Surge in from Charlie. Hyde throws in the Dragons over the mix, but they are just falling on nothing. As Valley Christian are able to dodge out of the way, simultaneously pick up a whole host of picks.
I think you want to have that Dragon Strike back, at least for a last second contest or maybe a corner contest. I think now for Pied, if they're going to do anything related, I think that now you have to pull out all the stops and really try to get all the damage going.
Jedi coming in from the outside, takes Dash down as the Blizzard fades. Follows it up with a great kill on the Hex as well. Going in with the flash, Fang, Leland is gone. Hyperpie finds the D-Mech. Hyperpie absolutely getting max value out of this Peacekeeper.
Oh my goodness, and Foie Gras is going to have Blizzard going into this next fight. The only answer that they're going to have back for it is Jarbob's self-destruct. Dash goes over to the junk that I thought I would rather see Hyde go over to. Putting in the May junk might have been a better move.
Yeah, but you've got the walls like that. Jarbob with the big eat on to Foie Gras' Blizzard. Foie Gras and Shygma both go down. Shygma was holding that sound barrier as well. Clutch move from Jarbob. And Valley Christian are continuing to try to fight this out. This is how much the squad believes in Snips and Charlie Barley. They're like, down 2? That winnable. They're pushing forward. They've got a Graviton Surge. Ant Matrix out. They're going to toss that grab into the corner. Sound Barrier's in. Self-destruct trying to prevent the follow-up onto that grab, and Snips goes down. Charlie Barley reinforced by Shagma's Sound Barrier trying to go back in, and they do find that kill onto Leolin. So that Ant Matrix is up, and Valley Christian are still down and face the respawn disadvantage of this defense on the very back of the throne room, and I think it's eventually going to take over.
I mean, they haven't given up yet. I mean, there's so much fandom coming in. This should end the fight right here.
Nope, Charlie Barley says no. No tire for you. No donut for Dash onto this Junkrat. Although Dash responds with a good kill onto Blue Sky. Pipe continues to put damage down. And Valley Christian have never really quite regrouped after that initial loss.
Yep, and I think now is time for a full 6 here. I mean, you have got to get your main tank back. That's your initiator. That's your space taker going into these fights. Shatter is available, though, for Snips going into this fight, looking at a Dragon Strike available to Pied. So, I mean, depending on what they get out of it, you know, Foie Gras has to be a little bit more careful with the Blizzard throwing. I think they got a little bit antsy going into that previous fight.
Oh, nice boop. Makes for an easy block of Snips Earth Shatter. Dragons over the pack, and they're going to pick up Hyper Pie. Fogram moving in alongside Snips. They're going to get Leolin with courtesy of a great wall. Charlie Barley with yet another Graviton Surge. Fogram's Blizzard does not get eaten this time. Both of the above are on the point right now. Dash tried to throw out a tire, but I believe he got killed before the tire hit the battlefield. And with just under 2 minutes left, Valley Christian just have to take care of Leolin on this ball, and they should be able to push it in. Jarbob is going to hit the point, but runs into an Earth Shatter. Hex is there, and 92% to a Sound Barrier. Shagma's going to drop their own first. If Hex can build up this Sound Barrier, it might work. Sound Barrier's out. It gets 4, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the fight that they need right now. Hyper Pie gets taken down by Pine on the May, and so now this is all to play for. This is the stall that you wanted to see. They have to burn just a little over 90 seconds. Pine going down, that's going to be a massive loss.
Oh, Dash got Charlie Barley so low. You want that kill. Don't let Charlie Barley get away with 20 health. And then the shatter comes through from Snips. Clutch Charlie is still on their feet and burning down people. It was so close for Rockland actually stabilizing, but they left Charlie Barley alive. Hyperfire returns, and they close it out with 61 seconds on the clock.
That was a stall of the ages, though, Bullshit. There was so much time on the clock when the Warriors entered point 3 of Eichenwalde. The stall was real. I mean, they had 3 times to try and take it. It took everything out of Valley Christian to finally crack the point. 61 seconds. So that number could actually really lean into an overtime period. Should we get there? I have full faith that Rockland is going to come out here and just lay into Valley Christian because neither team has lost this season. That's the big thing that I want to remind everybody of. These are 2 teams that have not lost a match this season. And so you're not wanting to lose on the last day of the season. That would be just heartbreak. And Rockland, you know, what kind of adaptability are we going to see from them? Are we going to keep seeing the frozen ropes coming out of Rockland? I mean, Valley Christian, they're absolutely entrenched on this meta. They have been playing it since week 1, and I have never seen them really deviate from it other than Charlie Barley sometimes going to the Diva. We've seen Foie Gras swap over to the Trace, or I'm sorry, to the McCree before, where Hyperpie played the Tracer, or an Ash. So there's a little bit of variance going in here, but we'll see what they bring out here. Rockland, their backs are against the wall, facing a 3-point deficit here. Let's see if they can go ahead and match what Valley Christian brought.
Valley Christian are just mean on the defense, too. If they have a good offense, they have a great defense, at least historically from what we've seen throughout our HSEL homeroom season 2021 in spring. Charlie Barley opens up strong right out of the gate. Already has 60-plus charge, make that 80-plus charge. An opening pick onto Hex just slows the approach, both figuratively and literally, from Rockland High School.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see from them. I mean, just the work coming out from Charlie and from Hyperpie. Beautiful use of the Immortality Barrier right there to keep the team up. But that's going to be 2 quick kills, 3 quick kills, 4! This is a huge push. That wall that came out from Dash Bullskunk, that was massive.
Yeah, a great amplification matrix as well. And Snips went down with Shatter. Snips was looking to use that Shatter, goes down with Shatter. They're able to get Charlie, who was holding that Graviton Surge as well. Big plays out of the Thunder to come in and storm over point A, kind of punching Valley Christian in the mouth when they got a little overzealous.
And we've never seen Valley Christian really get punched in the mouth. There was that one 5-map set. Okay, I will recall back to, I think, week 5, where they got pushed 5 maps. That was the only time that we ever saw Valley Christian kind of look vulnerable. They looked vulnerable on that attack or on that defense right there, Bullskick. And defense has always been the hallmark of how they've won these matches so easily.
Well, they overextended. Like, they straight up overextended. They got a 2-man advantage and tried to pursue it and got walled off by a great play from Dash. And now they're sitting up high, play a little safer. They drop down through the Ant Matrix and starting to put that pressure down. Snips threw down a Shatter, didn't see much off of that one. Leland Shatter's going to find both tanks. Charlie Barley needs to get back on their feet. Going to find a kill onto Dash after doing so. Throw down some Graviton Surge. Right into the wall. Smart play. No eat coming out of the Diva on that one. Graviton Surge held 4. They're able to burn Pi down out of the pack and stabilize up close on their point B hole.
And they do have the Blizzard for the next fight as well, Bullskunk. So they're going to go back to the high ground and just, wash, rinse, repeat. What I'm looking for from Shigma needs to get this sound barrier up in a hurry because Pine has this Dragon Strike available.
What a shot from Dash. That was awesome. Oh, but the Blizzard is in. Hex is going to drop the the sound barrier in response, but it's not in line of sight. Dragon's coming out as well as self-destruct. So in lieu of Leland going down early, big plays from Jarbob and Hyde. They're able to get this cart rolling.
I mean, we are seeing somebody push Valley Christian and win at pushing. Oh, what a domer from Pied onto Hyper Pie. Back to spawn with you, young person. That is not what you want to do. You can't peek a Hanzo. That's the beauty of having the Hanzo here. You've got that one-shot potential.
Especially in those scenarios where the Hanzo can sit all the way back across the gap and throw arrows into the entrance. So Valley Christian come out the other side, and it's going to be an up-close and personal battle. Dash has a Blizzard ready for that battle, and it's got Valley Christian all standing around shivering. And now they're back in spawn, at least half of them are. And Rockland High School are going to batter down this door to the castle.
Look at this time bank as well. A full minute and a half. Bigger. There goes Hyper Pie dead again. Peeking too much, not respecting the Hanzo's range. And I mean, this is going to be a very good push coming from Rockland High School.
Yeah, they're coming up on a couple of ultimates to push it in with. I anticipate the Ant Matrix to come out early. And it could force Valley Christian into a tight spot. Could be very vulnerable to a Shatter coming through, or perhaps even some Dragons. It's actually the defensive Ant Matrix coming up first, and, well, the Rockland Thunder just back up around the corner to wait it out.
Yep, smart play for them, and, I thought they were going to catch out Jarbob there on the Diva, but Nene. Great wall once again coming from Quadrad. They've built themselves up to another Blizzard.
Ant Matrix now out from Rockland. Charlie Barley's going to fall back, protect that 100 charge. Oh, no, but nobody else can get out. That's half of the defense gone. And this is threatening to be an absolutely monstrous time bank. Now, you do still have some ults on the line for the defense. They're going to emerge with them. Rockland is going to try to not let them have any opportunity to use them. Good kill onto Blue Sky. No immortality field up. It's going to be the Shatter from Leland as the Graviton Surge comes out from Charlie Barley. But the sound barrier's there. Hex keeping Rockland Esports alive in this fight. They find that kill onto Charlie. They drop a self-destruct onto the point. That's going to take out Fog Raw. The remake takes care of Shigma. And this is going to be a 3-minute time bank for Rockland Esports, tripling that set up by the Warriors of San Jose.
And, the thing is that Valley Christian, those 2 early picks on Hyper Pie absolutely decimated any kind of a hold for them because they were always fighting in the deficit there. They're losing the fights in the neutral, Bullskunk. I mean, can you even call just a dinger from Pied a neutral fight win? I guess you can. Because, I mean, seriously, you have to be aware of the Hanzo on the field at all times. You have to be aware that they can go max strength on that pull and take your head off. And that happened twice, once with a Sonic Arrow, once with a regular Tree Trunk. And if I am Valley Christian right now, I'm letting Hyper Pie know You have got to watch your corners. Don't peek the corners unless you've got a shield or you've got natural line of sight that you can avoid being domed with.
Yeah, great shooting from Pied as well. Able to recognize those spots and find those early picks onto Hyper Pie. It was crucial. It was crucial to this massive time bank that Rockland are now sporting as they go on to the defense, looking to tie up the series.
I mean, they absolutely have the wind at their backs right now, don't they, Bull Skunk? I mean,
oh yeah.
Valley Christian, they're going to have to come out here with a serious amount of lethality to take the point. It took them 2 tries last time, and it took them a little over a minute and a half to do it. So they're going to have to get it on the first try. Otherwise, I have to fear that Rockland's going to have 3 minutes to gather 1 point.
And, you know, I was heralding Valley Christian's defense. Well, I mean, Rockland just ran over it on that one. Nice Maywall. Snips could be in trouble here. Good move from Shagma, is able to get around and top off the Reinhardt. Enable Valley Christian to keep pushing forward around this tower. They're going to try to get in. Blue Sky goes down. Pied! Pied finds 2. Hyper Pie finds an arrow in their dome once again. Snips caught off as Dash prevents the retreat. And Rockland Esports, they hold on the defense. There'll be one last chance for Valley Christian.
Oh my God, what a long, late stagger onto Charlie Barley. Loses all that beautiful charge. And they've got 15 seconds to go. Snips does close the shatter gap in a hurry, but Leland's probably going to get the first shatter out of this, and Dash can just stop the entire aggression here from them with a beautifully placed wall.
What an awesome camera angle we just caught right there as Dash splits Valley Christian in half. They're pushing in without Charlie at the moment. Snips up there trying desperately to survive. You can see Blue Sky threw down an Immortality Field, but that is now gone. Snips does have that Shatter online, but there's an Ant Matrix, there's a Dragons, there's a lot coming through. 3 kills coming from Valley Christian as Leland throws down the Shatter, but Charlie gets back on their feet. They throw down the Graviton Surge. They get that kill onto Leland. Now they just have Jarbomb to deal with. Self-destruct up in the air. Doesn't get anything, but Jarbomb manages to get back into mech. A crucial move, 600 free health to work with to try to stall this thing out. But the reinforcements from Valley Christian are there. They will get a 4th point on the board.
Oh my word. Charlie, Starly, Barley, you are a star. You are a hero. My word, how, to quote our good friend Chase.
Clutch Charlie. I don't know what to tell you. Just clutch Charlie.
Clutch, he doesn't miss. He doesn't miss, chat. He doesn't miss. But now Charlie Barley has gone over to a Diva of their own, so the damage mitigation is going to be there. I think that's to deal with the blizzard coming up and also to try and mitigate some of these fire strikes and arrows coming in from Pied.
Yeah, and maybe easy access to the high ground on top of the aforementioned items. But it's a blizzard in from Dash to start things off. Snips can't survive. Shagma's sound barrier not enough to keep them in this fight as the DPS health bars are looking very low. They're able to find a little bit of reprieve. But Charlie Barley's caught with her back against a Maywall. Is going to get D-Mac. Nice shot on the Blue Sky out of the air. Hits Hyper Pie in the dome again. Hyde has been absolutely on fire with this bow. There's yet another on the Snips. And with that fantastic triple kill, Hyde and company from Rockland High School will stop this cart.
Woo! Boy, we got a series on our hands, Bull Skunk, and Valley Christian better be tight on their angles, their lines of sight. They better be ready for the dash, May. We talked about foie gras all day long. There's the aftermath of that epic battle. A singular swinging lantern. Good Lord.
I can almost hear it creaking, Billy.
Same, because Germans use butter for grease. It's true. But it also attracts a lot of flies.
So they put grease on their grilled cheeses? Like, is it? Okay, never mind.
I mean, I can go with this if you want.
It's all right. We've got more important things to talk about.
We do. We got the defense coming up for Valley Christian High School. I mean, the Warriors, Nips doing that thing again that he does. That makes me kind of have a little bit of vertigo because I just the sensitivity on that mouse has to be just absolutely insane. But no changes out from Valley Christian on the defense there. Same thing from Rockland. So Hanzo versus McCree. This is where the matchup's going to be. It's going to be about how good foie gras walls are as well.
Hyde sticking with that Hanzo. You know, we're starting to see why the Hanzo is used in lieu of the McCree. At least with this player. Pied has been just landing those arrows just like that. Finds the Dome of Shagma to start off the extra innings push and the attempt to tie up the series. They've got 2.5 minutes to do it at this point, and Rockland Esports have a +1. They're going to push in. Dash looking for a great place to try to separate the back from the front of Valley Christian. See if they can perhaps block the healers. There it is, wall coming up, trying to keep Blue Sky from getting that healing in. Ant Matrix up from Radia, double healing onto that front line, keeping them in the fight and keeping Leolin above Snips in the alpha war of the Reinhardts. Snips down, Ant Matrix out from the defense. Charlie Barley does have a Graviton Surge online, ready to go. Immortality Field already used from the defense. Immortality Field is gone. This is the follow-up there. Hyperbike gets one with the Deadeye, trying to move in. Blizzard used from the defense as well. Charlie Barley is at 98 with that particle beam, and it is enough. Rockland get thwarted on their first attempt.
Oh man, and that is a minute 15 off their attack right there. Charlie Barley getting the charge, getting the kills, getting the Graviton Surge. I mean, it's all right clicks unless they're trying to focus down the player. I mean, look at that again. 100 charge. So, I mean, they're going to have to be very careful addressing this team.
Dashes Blizzard, makes it in. Able to burn down for a drop. The rest of the team backing up. Early Immortality Field used from Radia. So they do have dragons. They have them caught in a small room. Nobody there to kill the Immortality Field, though. Dash's wall actually prevented Rockland from taking down Blue Sky's Immortality. And now Valley Christian with a beautiful rotation, make it all the way around, but they run right into another shatter! That is everybody on the ground. Shine was able to get back on their feet, throw down the sound barrier. Satan goes for Hex. Now it's the self-destruct coming out as the dust settles. It Snips gets blown to bits by Jarbob. Self-destruct. Another Graviton Surge from Charlie Barley. Able to get 3 for the defense, but Charlie Barley is now down. Snips going over to the vault to try to make it back into this point. It's just the supports left standing from Valley Christian. Blue Sky now out of the fight. Snips is back on the ball. Fogra is here on the Tracer. They just have 2 to deal with. They're going to take care of the Baby Diva. Dash has to ice block. This is going to be a hold. At least for now.
For now. I mean, look, we're looking at a Deadeye from Hyperpie. We almost have a shatter. There's the Blizzard coming up. You can't roll into that.
Oh, they caught Charlie Barley. Not able to eat it up. Beautiful Blizzard from Dash. Hyperpie goes down. Jarbob was able to get a kill on the Snips as well. And this card is on the way. We are going to be in overtime. This is one last fight.
Oh my goodness, Shatter available. Hyde's going to have another Dragon Strike going into this. Foie Gras almost has a Pulse Bomb. This is going to be a dynamic fight. There's the Golden Box of Victory. That does not have to go very far. 21 meters and some change to take us to a tie score.
I love this patience on Valley Christian. They regroup, they drop down. Deadeye invested in, it's got to get around the May wall. Immortality Field off the table for Rockland High School as they throw Dragons and Shatter over the point. That's got 3, 4, we're caught in that Shatter. Dragons pick up 2, if you include that D-Mac, and Pine has pulled this over the line, kicking and screaming. Rockland, they have tied up this series 1-1 here in the HSEL Grand Finals.
Oh my word, do we have a series on our hands? Pied, you just made me a believer into the adaptation of this Rush Cobb. It was absolutely massive. The Shatter, the pre-fire on the ultimate got everything that they needed into that. That's how you run a map. That's how you take the aggression. That's how you win a map.
That is definitely how you win a map. You could see what I commonly talk about is the communication in action. You could see it there from Rockland High School. You could feel the comms in the play and how coordinated it was. This has been outstanding. I'm loving this. I cannot wait to see who takes the edge. Our teams are neck and neck. When we return, it will be Valley Christian's map pick as they try to reclaim their lead. We're going to take a short break. We'll return with map 3 in just a few.
What's in Zaxby's new General Tso's sauce? Legendary chicken, legendary sauce. The new General Tso's boneless wings. Only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, and order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Oh, wow. We are tied up heading into map 3. That was an exciting map number 2 on Eichenwalde. Rockland High School able to hold the line just outside of the door of point A into point B. They push it across the line in their final fight. I mean, it was down to that last fight, Billy.
It really was. And I mean, Pied showing up once again. How valuable this Hanzo is into that fight. I mean, they really just wasted Hyperpie's Deadeye with the wall and then the immortality field. They had the pulse bomb. The pulse bomb took down the immortality field. He just couldn't get around the wall fast enough to pull the trigger. So really smart plays from both teams. I'm just really looking at, how do they bring this back? I mean, they brought it back level now. So basically it's a very complicated 0-0 as we've heard many times before. And, going into our next map, which is going to be an assault map, and it's going to be Volskaya. Rockland banned Hanamura. And if there's ever a Hanzo map that I ever thought of, I would think that Hanamura gives you the sight lines that you want on that. So if we're going to keep running this kind of adjusted mirror match, then Volskaya, while you do have the long sight lines, there's still a lot more natural cover and around the geometry of the map. You might have to swap to an Ash, depending on what you want to bring out into this. But I mean, right now they have done so well to adapt and bring their flavor to this match. Rockland High School just punched Valley Christian in the mouth in that overtime. I mean, I thought that the stall was so beautiful. I mean, they brought it down so far from that 3-minute, 1-second time bank to almost into overtime. And I mean, the time banks just killed Valley Christian there. I think if they had, an extra 30 seconds, they might have had something a little bit different to say about the second point. But as it stands, we're sitting on 1-1. And man, that's just got to be what's in the back of Valley Christian's mind right now is how do they deal with Pied?
Yep, I can't wait to see it go into map 3. I can't wait to watch it here on my beautiful Asus monitor. Speaking of Asus, ROG Tough is the official hardware sponsor of HSEL in the Spring Major 2021. Globally recognized as the #1 gaming brand worldwide and used by elite school esports teams.
I mean, I really want a new monitor, so I'm looking at an Asus right now myself, and
They're
I would
gorgeous
really like to
monitors.
have it. Really would like to have it, but we're just waiting for the teams to get all settled back into our lobby, and we will be heading back into the game here very shortly. But I want to tell you what, it's been a pleasure playing here, or casting these matches all season long. And as we take a look at our map set, we do see that we are going to Volskaya Industries for our assault map, as Rockland banned out Hanamura. And so Valley Christian says Frozen Russia is going to be where we make our stand.
This is an interesting pick, particularly on defense. You've got a lot of options available to you. And as we've noted, Valley Christian really like to stick to their Zarya brawl comps. I'm curious to see if they deviate away from that. You can absolutely still run brawl on this, but we've already seen examples of Rockland High School bringing out the dive and even a little double bubble in the little snippets we saw of their semifinals matchup and surround a brawl comp. It's exactly what they did to win the one round they won on Nepal. And I think there's a lot of room for them to make that work on Volskaya. So I'm particularly curious on Valley Christian's defense. How did they choose to roll out? Are they sticking with the Ryan Zarya brawl composition?
I mean, I think Charlie Barley in this instance might want to bring a diva here. I think that might be the way to go, because you've got the high-low contest in the mech. You've got the damage mitigation. You've got the fire strike eats. You've got the damage eats. And then you're hoping to eat one of these blizzards. That's the other things that we have not seen Charlie Barley do, is eat an ultimate yet. And we haven't seen it from the other side as well. I mean, we're looking for Harbob to eat an ultimate. We did see it on Eichenwalde on the attack phase. Harbob did eat that blizzard. So that's really what we want to see, is more of the same. I think just that little tweak should be what we are looking at, Bullsky, because man, Charlie Barley does love the Zarya here. We've seen 2 of their backpacking plays come from Volskaya with the Zarya. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily change here. They're going to be on the attack though first, which is a bit different than what they usually have run into here.
Well, they're usually choosing whether they want to attack and defend. And it was not this time. Valley Christian had map pick. So Rockland High School got to choose to defend first. Same comps we saw last time. We're going to get Pied on the Hanzo. We're getting Charlie on the Zarya. And it's Pied Hanzo coming up with first blood on Volskaya. And with a priority pick at that, taking Shagma out of the fight, Valley Christian just have to back up and soft reset.
They really do. And Dash is on the McCree instead of the May here. So you've got CC ability from the flashbanger as well, as long as that poke coming out from range.
Yeah, and Pied up on that high ground, just getting fearless. Look at that, just running right at the edge, get that extra damage down. Dash is able to finish off Snips. I don't think Shagma quite made it back into the fight before they engaged, and Valley Christian get punished for it.
They absolutely do. I mean, look at these ultimates and look at the charges coming up. I mean, Pied does not miss. Landed that into the rear end of Blue Sky as they made a very hasty retreat. Both Amp Matrixes ready to go, but look at this. Leolin, Shatter on the ready, completely doubled what Snips can do. That's the diva factor right now that I mentioned earlier, Bullskunk. That DM is eating so many fire strikes. I think they're just saving it for Snips' fire strikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart play if you're a Rockland High School. You can get ahead of that old dichotomy, let Leolin just kind of dominate in the front line. I mean, that's a huge advantage for Rockland on this defense. As right now, the Thunder are just sitting on center box. They're not trying to rotate to meet Valley Christian. Valley Christian are able to take the Mega Room for free.
Oh, and that's huge with the Ant Matrix coming out as well.
Ant Matrix from both sides, as a matter of fact. Get that Dash hanging around the back, looking to pull up his Deadeye. Unleashes it, but he's right in the middle of a Dragons. Oh, never mind, that's friendly Dragons. Nothing to worry about there. It's Fograw coming through and getting their head just taken right off. Moved into center box. Dash picked it up. Was able to find that kill. Valley Christian coming back in with another broken attack. They drop the Graviton Surge into the mix. Leolin responds with the counter Shatter, and Snips cannot follow up on it. Snips is going to go down in a heat, and Valley Christian are looking to retreat.
They have to retreat because, I mean, that's your main tank, that's your initiator gone. What a beautiful Shatter in the middle of the grab there, just investing that. One little ultimate and just completely denied any kind of value. 90 seconds on the clock now. Both DPS ultimates are available to VCHS. Foie Gras, do not get your Blizzard eaten here.
No, this is not a time for that. Jarva looking for it. You can see the DM from the high ground. And Matrix, excuse me, Immortality Field out keeping Leolin alive, but only momentarily. Self-destruct up from the defense is going to find one, but HyperPie was able to get two with the Deadeye before the bomb went off. And Valley Christian will eventually pick up point A.
Woo, but it took him 3 minutes to do it. 3 minutes plus. And, I mean, you're not going to have a lot. You expended absolutely everything in that fight other than your Shatter. This is going to be a bit of a tough take here for Valley Christian. Spawn advantage, obviously, in Rockland's favor. Also, they're going to have Deadeye into this next fight. Put that through the Amp Matrix. That could be a very dynamic combo.
Oh, man, those skulls come up so quick when you're channeling through an Amp Matrix. It's ridiculous. You can see Charlie Barley up here. Clutch Charlie glowing like a Christmas tree up on this high ground. Just peppering down some of those right clicks, looking to finish up the rest of the Graviton Surge. Nice jump. A little bit of tech. Give Charlie Barley the high ground as they're going to join the rest of the team. Try to push past the defensive Amp Matrix of Rockland Esports, but they cannot. They suffer too many casualties through it on the approach, and Rockland are able to stabilize.
Yeah, and that was one ultimate into that fight. And that's the beautiful game of Overwatch there. That is the best of ult economies that you could wish for there. And, I mean, really, Foie Gras and HyperPie are kind of being shut down right now by Dash and Pied. They have absolutely got their aim zeroed in. They aren't missing right now.
I mean, that was some beautiful aim. I mean, VCHS were amp speeding just from this high ground to the point and lost 3 members along the way. That is just phenomenal shooting coming out of Rockland. Now they're going to throw down the Deadeye to start off this next defense with 2.5 minutes remaining. Drop it down from the high ground. Dash is able to find Foie Gras as they come out of the ice block. Foie Gras was 90% to the Blizzard. Now the Dragons are going to send Valley Christian off of the high ground, and they drop right into Dash's sights. Snips gets just taken out by a few key shots. and Valley Christian have to try again.
That was a little bit more. That was both DPS ultimates out of that fight. So I think the Valley Christian might just be going dry into these fights, trying to build up A, their ult economy, and B, trying to pull out ultimates from Rockland. And so far it's worked. I mean, look, Charlie Barley's been holding this Graviton Surge for 2 fights. Snips has been holding it since they captured A. They're building up towards a 5-pack of ultimates. That might be the initiator. That might be the key that unlocks this point B.
So it's going to be the Amp Graviton Surge combo coming out to start.
Eat!
Yep. Jarbob is able to eat a Blizzard. That was certainly not a good time. Never a good time to get your Blizzard eaten, but particularly not when you're trying to attack point B. This is Valley Christian's best opportunity, and they've lost Snips. Ant Matrix out. Nice move from HyperPie. Able to take Pie down, but not before Pie picks up a pair. And each one of those losses just hurts that much more when you're trying to attack a second point of any assault map.
Oh, and they just completely shot their bank out there. And I mean, look at this, investing everything they need. Charlie Barley's going to go down to the keep. There goes that charge. Snips never even got a chance to put their shatter into that fight. That's how well Rockland defended that point. And I mean, just shy of 75%. It's not a bad capture percentage. Now, we've talked about Valley Christian's defense all day, but I think that they need to get full 2 points here. Otherwise, this could be a 2-1 victory going in favor of Rockland.
They're trying to think different on the approach. Last opportunity. Snips goes directly to the point. Shield already gone. Into the backline. Oh. Dash gets the flash fan onto HyperPie. The bold flank pays off for Dash. They've got to roll out of it. They managed to escape with 13 health. Now Snips coming back in. Down a player. Valley Christian down 2. Charlie Barley is in the ground, 6 feet under. Here comes a shatter. That finds a pair, but the Dragons deny any follow-up. Rockland are going point for point. They are answering everything Valley Christian throws at them. Dash with an insanely awesome flank. Pied with some fantastic shooting yet again. Finds 3 on the back end of this defense to stuff Valley Christian. They only get that 75%.
Oh my word. There was so much going right for Valley Christian there. And Rockland just snapped their fingers Thanos-like and flipped the switch, and they came out with a brutality that I don't think that Valley Christian has actually seen this season. And I mean, just the rotations, the willingness to push forward as a full 6. And I'm telling you right now, Dash and Pied are not missing many of their shots. That flank flash fan takeout of HyperPie, who had swapped over to their own Hanzo, absolutely nail in the coffin moment for them. And now, I mean, they know what their win condition is. Rockland could go up 2-1 in our grand final here. And VCHS, they have not made enough rotations and enough adaptations to really deal with what Rockland High School has come out here. And look at this. If they keep this, we've seen this before, Bullskunk. The Echo and McCree with the metal dive tanks. A little bit of change there. I thought they were actually going to do it. Let's see what they actually come out with.
Well, we get HyperPie sticking on the Hanzo as Valley Christian goes on to the defense. Charlie Barley on the Diva. It's Charlie Barley, no Zarya here to try to defend Volskaya. They've got to keep Rockland Thunder under 74.9%. Otherwise, it will be Rockland taking the 2-1 lead.
Indeed. And I mean, Dash just took one to the dome. Thank gosh, that wasn't a full charged arrow. Charlie Barley's going to have to really be careful with these anti-nades coming in from Radio. We saw how much value Radio got on Nepal with those nades on Shrine. So right now, just kind of a holding pattern, 30 seconds off of their clock.
They're waiting for Leland to get position. Oh, Leland misses the pile drive. Could be a break for Valley Christian, but they're still forced to evacuate center box as the front line of Jarbob and company comes through. Dash is chasing them back onto the point over forklift. And Valley Christian are just kind of standing out in the middle. This is exactly where Rockland wants them. This means that Rockland can grab the high ground and start to surround, start to throw in those sticky bombs. Good play, good catch on the Leland to shut down that initiation tool. That was exactly the pick that Valley Christian needed. And now you can see they're starting to move off the center of the objective, come in, and stabilize in the Mega Room.
HyperPie just took Pade's and off their shoulders with the tree trunks. That was beautiful work for them. I think this is where Charlie Brawler is going to have to start living right now, is in the face of this e-commerce team duo. HyperPie taking a really nice angle there, but there goes Shy, but that is not choice for them right now.
No, and Valley Christian looked like they're trying to fight the war on two fronts. I think you need to send more people around back. Shagma went in there alone, gave a huge advantage over. Now Rockland are responding. They saw that early pick, smell blood in the water, and just pounced on Mega Room. Jarbob able to get multiple kills. The nano boost was a big part of that, as Rady is able to get that down on Jarbob to start that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the anti and the nano going in on top of Jarbob and the rest of VCHS, and now they're already pushing up towards point B. Little over 5 minutes to get 3/4 of the way there. They have the primal. That is going to be the initiator for them. I think that you don't have to wait for the nano boost there. I think that you just throw Jarbob in there, let them get as much cleave damage as they can, and then launch the primal. You've got the duplicate as well.
Yeah, I imagine Dash is going to duplicate this Reinhardt, but a good shot from HyperPie takes Hex down. And Jarbob's going to fall to a Deadeye. So 2 key picks here for Valley Christian to start off the fight. And that's just going to buy them a little breathing room. They can build up a few more ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't spend their amplification metrics into that fight, though. So that's off the table for now. I mean, really, Blue Sky's going to have to be very careful for Pied on this Tracer. Watch out for the Pulse Bomb. Have that Immortality Barrier ready to go. I think Dash actually copies the Diva here. And tries to get a self-destruct to really dislodge VCHS from this back platform hold.
Oh, not a bad idea. I mean, throw that Diva in the mix. You get extra defense matrix to try to help shut down HyperPie Company. Leland's going to throw some mines over the high ground to start. Pied gets picked off early. Fogra able to find them in the back. It is going to be a Reinhardt duplicate, but immediately falls into a shatter, taken out of that doppelganger form. No value as the DPS duo, Fogra and HyperPie, are getting a lot of work done. Both are sitting at sub 10 health at the moment. Healing starts to come through, and a couple more kills for Fogra and HyperPie, respectively.
Yep, and here comes the changes. Dash going over to the McCree. Jarbob over to the Diva of their own. Yep, here comes the mirror matchup. Yes, sir. So they recognized after 2 fights that that was not going to work. They had the counters and the movement available to them to be able to swap around and repel them. So now 3 minutes, plenty of time to get ultimates up here for Rockland. What I'm really going to look at is, you know, how long does it take them to get there, because the ultimate economy clearly in Valley Christian's favor.
Oh, I love this rotation. Rockland all jump over to the high ground with that speed boost. And they're going to try to loop around and pressure Valley Christian off of their safe spot. Pie with a beautiful shot to the dome of Fogra. Opens things up. HyperPie tried to break formation and go into the backline, but gets caught. Actually does manage to pick up Pie. And then the self-destruct finds Dash. So both DPS are gone off the battlefield. HyperPie is going to throw out the dragons to try to close this thing out, and succeeds.
Yeah, beautiful work there. I don't know if you necessarily needed it, but I mean, just to make sure that you guarantee the fight win is exactly what they want to do. They're trying to prevent Jarbob from going off the edge, but Shagma will get that extra little bit of ultimate charge for the confirmed kill there. And now they are down a player, so Rockland needs to just hold here and wait, and just wait for their Hex to get back. Radia already has built up to an amplification matrix. So in a minute, they have built that up. Blue Sky almost has theirs up again. Really, Foie Gras is going to be the answer here for Valley Christian. Do they get any value off of this Deadeye?
Rockland Esports waiting for their cooldown. Oh, they don't make the jump. Leland goes down low. Foie Gras is going to go ahead and drop that Deadeye. Rockland Esports just LOS it. Wait it out. It's safe to come out now, Rockland. How do you make your approach? You're going to throw down an Ant Matrix. And Pied is going to find that kill on a HyperPie to start through the Ant Matrix. Give me the Shatter coming down from Snips. That's going to be a 5-man Shatter. Goes into the back. Hex is able to get that sound barrier off, and Snips goes down. but they're trying to push this Zan's Baptiste. Ant Matrix out of the high ground. Soundbarrier out from Valley Christian as well. 65 seconds on the clock. Folkrock trying to rain down some shots, but eat the flashbang. Forced to back on out of there. Charlie is going to throw a self-destruct into the mix. In fact, both of them are on the table, but Leland found a couple members split off. Now comes in with the Fatty Shatty. Lands that onto Blue Sky and Snips, both of which are back in spawn. Only 10% needed for Rockland to close out this map. They're finding the kills. They've got Shigma. Here comes the progress. Doomfist returns. Tracer is on the point. Doomfist is taken down. Tracer's forced off, and Rockland claimed map 3.
Oh, man. What a beautiful recognition that the comp was not working after the first 2 attacks. They had 5 minutes. At the 3-minute mark, they swap, and they end up claiming the map with about 30 seconds left. In the Bromir right now, VCHS is being pushed to a point that they have never been pushed before. They are being worked at their own game, and they are absolutely working it, and it is exactly what they needed to do. That was a beautiful composition. That was a beautiful recognition of win condition and compositional differences, and they absolutely built it, brought it, sealed it, sent it, delivered it, and got the I read it email.
Indeed. Indeed, that's signed, sealed, and delivered. Map 3 in the books. Rockland taking the dub and taking the 2-1 lead in our grand finals. Now, just a reminder, this is first to 4. Still plenty of time for Valley Christian to get back into this game, and they have map pick once again. They get to choose where the stage of map 4 will be. Let's take a little map poll, find out where we're going.
Well, looks like Rockland has banned Dorado, and so we're going to Route 66.
Another kind of hybrid where the brawl is viable, but not necessary. But I think Route 66 will serve them very well. I mean, if you're a Valley Christian, you don't want to go to a place with a lot of high ground. I honestly, I think that Valley Christian probably shouldn't. Like, Dorado was probably a saving grace. Like, Rockland taking that out of the options, I think is good for Valley Christian. Route 66 is definitely a spot where they can tie up this series.
They could. However, you can run the Winston Wrecking Ball here because
Sure.
There's plenty of places to grapple from. Big Earls is a great place. You've got the far high ground on the other side on point B. You've got the saloon. You've got lots of high ground there as well. And lots of grapple places for a enterprising Wrecking Ball player to find, purchase on, and be able to speed into your back line. So, I mean, there's really not many other choices other than this place for Valley Christian. I think that they've got to really mix it up. I think now's the time for them to try and bring something a little bit different out, maybe in the DPS department, because Rockland, they're firing on all cylinders right now. They've got the wind at their back. They've run the past 2 maps. So, I mean, if they win this, they're going to be on championship point pool, Skunk. And the defense, you know, we're looking at Rockland setting up with the same kind of off brawl here that we've seen them run not only on Eichenwalde, but also on the second point of Volskaya, and they have gotten great results with it. Charlie Barley is going to have to really pull out a stellar performance on this diva to deal with Jarbob on their own echoing diva.
And I will say that is the one thing about Route 66 is Charlie Barley has to play this diva. You've got to have something to challenge Pied, who's going to be sitting on that high ground with that bow, which they are just so insanely accurate with.
Yeah, I mean, just the damage mitigation alone as well. You have to have that in your back pocket. You have to be able to get up there into the face, and really take it to the defense, because right now, I mean, I'm not sure what else they can do other than, you know, swapping out a hero, you know, maybe bringing a fire. But I mean, we've seen that dash is very accurate with the Peacekeeper.
Gonna try to slow escort it under Big Earls right now. Daring Rockland High School to drop down. Hyper Pied gets the better end of Pied. That's a good start for the attacking Warriors, taking out that Star Hanzo player. And again, I like the patience. One thing the Valley Christian has shown us in spades is good patience and reading the fight, waiting for the right opportunity. And you can see it's netted them 2 kills already to start off Route 66.
And Snips is ahead in the Shatter department as well. So that's something that we really have to weigh into as well.
And despite the Ant Matrix being out there, they still managed to find that kill onto Leland. And now it's just cleanup on the back of point A.
Yep, and I mean, look at this. Look at the positioning. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, the recognition there from HyperPie to know that they needed to take that. I mean, they're trying to pull it back, but that's going to be easy spawn there for Valley Christian. And there's going to be some long spawns coming from Rockland here. So this is going to be a test for them. This is going to test the mental of Rockland. How are they going to be able to bounce back after such a dominant push coming out from Valley Christian? I mean, we're seeing HyperPie really coming to their own right now on this Hanzo, getting a lot better sight lines and really recognizing where Rockland are trying to set up.
Yeah, you can see HyperPie putting those arrows up top, trying to help deal with Radio, who's on the high ground. It's going to be a Deadeye out from Dash, built up with those last 2 kills on point A, and that nets them 2 kills to start off point B. Huge play, but the self-destruct from the other side finds Radio. It's still a +1 to the defense on this, but Rockland do not have their Baptiste on the field. They got to win this out quickly, otherwise it might get away from them. Leland getting that kill onto Charlie might be just the ticket. Dash is able to follow up and take out Blue Sky from behind their Ant Matrix.
Yep, they didn't watch their corners there, and yeah, once again, the LOS that we're seeing come out of Dash. Dash is taking these insane angles and getting the value that they need.
I mean, Valley Christian invested into this fight. That was a 3v4 favoring the defense. Valley Christian invest Shatter, Deadeye, Sound Barrier, Ant Matrix in a 3v4, and they managed to win it out. But man, did it cost them.
Oh, it cost them almost everything. I mean, the recontest here is going to be available to them, but 4 ultimates going into 0.
Well, that's a good shot, taking Dash out early. It's going to be the Sound Barrier down combined with Dragons, and here comes Rockland. Striking back. Leland can't stay around that fight for too long. Charlie Bradley's going to go into the back, try to pick up the back line, see if they can get the healers out, but it gets chased away without any goods. Cannot find those kills. The peel from Rockland too strong. Leland trying to challenge, steps back on the front line. Tries to shatter past him, it gets flashbang right out of it. As Fograr was having none of it. Shatter from the other way, finds 2, including Radia in the back. But the reinforcements are just not there. They can't quite find the follow-up kills.
Woo, there's a kill. And Ant Matrix, or I'm sorry, Immortality Barrier is also off the field right now. So, I mean, looking at Fograr, I mean, you don't have the staying power right now to deal with what's coming into you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Fograr is trying to accomplish there. They're with Charlie and getting a little too big for their britches, I dare to say. Snips has returned to the fight, and nobody died, so like props to them for sticking around that long. Hanzo's traded out, Ant Matrix out for the defense. Sound Barrier invested yet again. Hex is building these up super quick, and that is going to be a fight winner for them this time. They get aggressive on the back of that extra shielding, and they find the kills necessary to finally silence Valley Christian.
But I mean, that was a 3 ultimate fight there from Rockland. I mean, they were absolutely up against the wall there, literally of point 3. And now you've got the Dragons, Sound Barrier, and also the self-destruct ready to go for Valley Christian. So how you rotate these ultimates is how you win point B.
Physically, they're going to rotate around the outside, go up to the high ground. Just going to force the members of Rockland High School. They gotta abandon that point. They can't sit up on the roof. HyperPie's going to throw the Dragons down and try to prevent the retreat, while Dash wins the 1v1 against Fograr inside. Dash is trying to come around and put pressure. But speaking of pressure from behind, Pine is going to couple Dragons with a shatter from Leland. They're able to get a couple kills on the back of it. Snips down 1 as well, but doesn't find nearly the value, and the defense will hold.
And Charlie Barley having to beat a hasty escape there. I don't know if they're going to get out with their mech intact. They do not. They get demech from a long shot from Pine, so got to throw yourself off the side here and reset the mech. Bye-bye.
Valley Christian coming in with a couple of good ultimates to use, though. I mean, Rockland's bank looking a little dry here, Billy.
I mean, they're going to have Deadeye. Dash has been really pouring the damage in with the Peacekeeper here. I think that you needed to do a little bit of a rotation here. Bring, the bulk of your force around, down and through the garage here, Zev's garage, and try to pull the resources up, pull the cooldowns out of Rockland Esports.
Oh my goodness, the one ultimate Rockland had, Dash comes up big. through a sound barrier. Dash still manages to find 2 with the Deadeye. And with 19 seconds left, Valley Christian are struggling for answers on point B.
Oh, man, and look at this. They're pushing in. They're speeding into Valley Christian. 10 seconds left to go. That's going to be a... Oh, I thought it should be a kill there for them. I mean, Hyperpie is super low. There's the healing there. 3 seconds. You got to touch the point.
I don't see anybody anywhere close to the cart. Okay, there's
Somebody
somebody
was
there.
backcapping.
It was Lucio. Got back there to touch. Shagma is going to get dealt with. Deadeye out from Fulgraz. The overtime wick starts to burn. Can they touch? They can. Time continues to move. One last chance. Valley Christian pushing in, a man down. Gonna throw up the self-destruct. Try to equalize the odds. They're gonna find that kill on the Pied and get the immortality field off the table. Sound barrier thrown in from the defense. Valley Christian have gone dry. They've got nothing in the war chest. And Dash wins 3 in the neutral. A triple kill for Dash with the Peacekeeper. Stops Valley Christian just shy of point B.
Boy, I think Charlie may have held on to that self-destruct just a little bit too long. They had it through 3 fights, and they just were ready for that ultimate hero moment. I think that if they launch it and pull the cooldowns, you get more value out of the fight that was on the point. Rockland, though, the answers were there in spades. Dash, the 3-piece in the neutral was absolutely massive. And I mean, let's talk about Hex Radio. We haven't talked about them very much today because it's all been tank and DPS related. They have been placing these immortality barriers, amping speed and amping heals. The placement of the amp matrices have been just disgusting. And here we go. We might be seeing the metal die variant that we've seen them pull out. This could be absolutely lethal to VCHS, especially once you get down the immortality barrier, Blue Sky. They could dive on a target, get it antied, and absolutely delete the character off the playing field. Looking like we're going to have a little bit of a close hold here from Valley Christian.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Adjusting angle of attack. Stop the payload.
Okay, well, we see them coming in and, trying to pull up here. There's the sticky bombs going in, immortality barrier out. And now they have a little bit of a push here. Bullscut, welcome back, my friend. Let's see what kind of work they can get out of this optimal dive here.
Pied going back almost gets that one clip onto Hyperpie. Pied eventually goes down. The reinforcements come through. Dash is able to finish off that kill, but they do lose Jarbob on the approach. So right now the dive composition, it's poking at them, but so far it hasn't broken open the defense.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, we're looking at Dash here on the Echo, already 75% towards the duplicate. I think once you get the duplicate up, especially with some knockbacks and pile drivers coming out of Jarbob or out of Leland, this could be exactly the push that they need.
Let's see Snips holding way up. Shagma gets caught out up there. I don't know if Shagma got too far ahead, perhaps looking for a kill, but that can't be happening. Your team needs you to do that. Lucio is so crucial to this. Nice shot from Hyperpie, trying to equalize. Gonna fan into Leland, but Leland is able to survive, get them to shield up, find a pair of kills. Nano boost onto Jarbob, making life very difficult for the back line of Valley Christian.
Yeah, but I mean, just got to push into this, and you guys also have the you also have Primal Rage right now that you can launch if you need to really push this fight out. That's going to be the dagger out on the Shagma as well. The push is real coming from Rockland. They don't have an answer for Valley Christian doesn't have an answer for what Rockland's bringing to the table right now. Just the one duplicate onto the main. That one wall was everything.
Oh no, mines are going to split Snips up from the rest of their team. Nobody else can drop down. Charlie Marley manages to make it down there with a big bio nade. The Deadeye finds 2! Hyperpie able to squeeze it through. Nice leaping shot from Fogra, lands onto Radia. And Hyperpie finishes off Leland. Great play from the DPS of Valley Christian to not give up this point.
They have not given it up, and I mean, that's over half their time gone. 2.74 meters. Let us remember what? Dash got the long range shot. They're onto Hyperpie, sent him back to spawn. And we see the Doomfist out here for Rockland. So Are VCHS going to be able to deal with the tech that Doomfist brings to this battle? I'm not so sure if they can.
Nice pile drive from Leland, and then goes all the way back up to the top, trying to clear the high ground, and successfully does. Nice block there, as Blue Sky's able to get the immortality filled up, prevent the death, and then the follow-up kill from HyperPie sends Pied back into spawn. No more pulse bomb for you. Graviton Surge out from Charlie Barley, and Snips goes in swinging, finds 3 for the main tank of Valley Christian, shutting it down with another big Graviton Surge, what we've come to love and expect out of Charlie Barley.
Well, I mean, they're dealing with this composition right now, and they're dealing with it in such a wonderful way. And I mean, the attack now for Rockland has just absolutely petered out. You've got Sound Barrier online, ready to go. The only thing that I'm worried about right now is Radia's going to have this Nano. Throwing it on Jarbob could absolutely destroy the back line of VCHS, but they have the Deadeye to answer. They have the Shatter and the Sound Barrier. Let's see how they go.
There goes the Nano and Winston into the back, trying to focus on HyperPie. Will find that kill. Dash dies on the approach, and Snips is able to shatter Jarbob. Jarbob is now frozen. Radia is down as Charlie Barley makes it into the back line and follows it up. Snips gets the kill onto Hex. The tanks of Valley Christian have demolished the supports of Rockland High School with 5 seconds remaining. Jarbob is gonna fall. Charlie Barley comes up with yet another onto Leland, and this tank line of Valley Christian will not be denied. Falk Rock coming up with a couple of kills to close it out. And Valley Christian and their brawl composition hang on against the dive of Rockland Esports, tying up our series. It's 2-2 here in the grand finals.
It's an extra complicated 0-0 tie now. And my goodness, did they show up big there. Charlie Barley, Clutch Charlie, just absolutely decimating the attack that they wanted to have. Inside the bubble.
Yeah, this is that big grab.
Oh, man, we've got a series on our hands, Bull Skunk. These are the 2 juggernauts of the HSEL Spring Major. They have battled all season, undefeated, neck and neck once again. The air kind of went out of the sails of VCHS for just a little bit. But man, did they come roaring back on Route 66. I thought they had to get at least 2 points or both points captured to have a chance to stand up against Rockland. But Rockland, they stayed with that metal dive just a little bit too long. They didn't have the time to build up ultimates to be able to take what was theirs. Valley Christian gets a full hold. We're tied 2-2.
And wow, so we're headed into map 5, and it's pretty much turned into a first to 2 here at this point. It will be Control. I believe it will be Busan. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to head to Seoul and see who can take the edge. We'll see you back here on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Holy cow, it is 2-2 after 4 maps. We are headed to Busan. Valley Christian were able to win Nepal, our first control map, but it was 2-1. And I mean, they got one round that was 100-0 on Village, but the other 2 super close.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with the resilience of Valley Christian. I don't think they've ever been pushed this hard all season. I know that they did go to a map 5, but they kind of memed on some of those maps. So, really, it's just being pushed into them right now. I think that's the big difference right now, is that Rockland just aren't taking no for an answer. I think they tried to really push that metal dive, and it may have effects in the long game, because Valley Christian are not going to be sure what are they going to come out here with. I mean, we're going to Busan, right? So we will see, what we get. So let's pull up the map set to confirm where we're going. And I mean, you've got 2 maps that you can pretty much run really whatever you want on. And then you got Mecha Base, and Mecha Base is absolutely brawl centric. So, man, I mean, if you are Valley Christian right now, you've got to be aware that there are 2 dominant compositions that Rockland are going to throw at you.
Indeed. I mean, and this is a first to 4, and sometimes in these super long series, well, you might get hungry. If you get hungry, keep Zaxby's in mind. Zaxby's a proud sponsor of the High School Esports League. No need to hit pause. You can order Zaxby's famous chicken sandwiches and salads for pickup and delivery on the Zaxby's app or at Zaxby's.com.
I am fiending for chicken sandwich right now. I'm a chef. I approve of Zaxby's. We just got one here in Springfield not too long ago. They're delicious. And I could use
there you go.
A little tummy filler right now. Hungry.
Some chef approved chicken sandwiches right there.
Really good stuff. But I mean, theory crafting about what we're going to go into. I mean, really, Sanctuary would be the best place, I think, to run, kind of this hybrid brawl that we saw coming out from Rockland. Downtown, I think you can absolutely run your metal dive there because there's so much high ground. So, yeah, I mean, hearing from our producer that we're going to be starting on downtown. So do we see Rockland come out with the brawl mirror, with the Hanzo, or do we see this metal dive? Because Dash got 2 duplicates in that fight, or in that map. And I mean, they had the May duplicate once, which I completely understand because they were playing the May earlier. But then we saw, I believe it was a Baptiste. The second one was the second duplicate and didn't get the same amount of value. So if they do end up running this kind of weird metal dive with the Ash and the Echo and the Tracer, really smart usage of that duplicate. Where do you go with it needs to be high on their priority list. They have to be thinking about what are they going to do with it. Are they calming where they're going to duplicate into with the team? Does the team agree? Because I didn't see the value that we saw the same on Nepal that we saw there on Route 66. So really need to be smart with that if they do end up running that in the first place.
Yep. Yeah, and there's definitely plenty of room to run the dive, particularly on downtown. Does sound like we're getting a bit of a Doomfist dive coming out of Rockland to start things off. We're using our power of the mind to see into the future. It's really just the power of the producer as we're going to go in and actually see these things firsthand. But one of the things about downtown, if you're going to run this brawl, you often end up caught in the little cubby that's actually on the point. And a dive composition can very easily surround that cubby and put in damage from a lot of directions. So Valley Christian need to make sure and not get caught in a corner here on this objective.
Yeah, Charlie bringing out the Diva variant here of the Brawl comp. So Dash is going to be looking for the supports in the back line. Obviously, One Punch Man here. Oh my goodness, they're putting themselves into that little cubby, as you aforementioned. This could be absolutely lethal if Dash gets any kind of a hit on them.
Yeah, I mean, one Bionade from Radia into the mix, and it could be all over. Oh, beautiful Icicle from Foie Gras. Dash does land the gauntlet and break the jaw of Shagma, but it loses their life in the process. Trades come through, and it's a 4v4 on the point. It's going to be up to this front line of Valley Christian to take this thing back if they get that kill onto Jarbob. Hex is in there trying to hang on for as long as possible, and there's a nice bio on the Snips, but that's going to fade in time for Snips to get healed up. Sleep onto Charlie, and Snips is really still not topped off. Leland had taken down Blue Sky in the interim, and we're relying just on Lucio healing, and it just wasn't enough to keep Snips in that fight. Dash returns in time to get a couple of kills and get the point.
Yep, and I mean, this is another wrinkle. This is the adaptability that I want to see from, you know, more seasoned teams. These are high school players, and they are absolutely adapting on the fly to what has been presented to them all day. Look at Jarbob.
Lifting off.
Somebody.
There's Jarbob playing a little sneaky. Hyperpie swapped over to the Echo, though, scouted about. There's some sticky bombs on there. Jarbob decides to fall out of the sky onto Charlie's head. Blue Sky making a swap over to the Ana as well, trying to keep that front line topped off. It's the first double bubble we've seen out of Valley Christian today. And Snips struggling to find any room to work. The pressure through from Rockland Esports, and they're just going to keep it at bay right now. They're fine with that one kill. They're going to back up and build more percentage.
I think that Foie Gras has to be on Doomfist duty right now. They have nothing to really deal with a flashbang. That's my first point of contention. Beautiful work from Dash there, and a Nano goes on to Jarbob and just cleaning up with the Tesla Cannon right now.
Yeah, Jarbob able to get into the back line and find both supports with that Nano boost, and now has that Primal online ready to go.
You know, and you also have a little bit of extra variant here from Rockland. We do see Hex on the Brigitte. So you've got the Steel Bash there for CC. You've got the Inspire Healing once they start getting any kind of damage onto the enemies. That's really keeping them beefy through these fights. And I mean, with a Rally online, you pop that into your next fight, make sure everybody gets it, and that's going to be all she wrote.
Yep, Hex is going to indeed go ahead and pop that Rally. Mine's out, and Dash is just making life so difficult. Look at the support, so they can't focus on healing those tanks because they got to deal with this Doomfist in the back line. And then Hex is there protecting Radia and helps to take down Snips and Charlie.
This is just beautiful coordination from Rockland. Rockland has been doing such a good job all series of just putting that one extra little fold into what Valley Christian is expecting. Like, they were expecting the Echo Tracer Metal Dive there. And I mean, they brought out the appropriate characters. Rockland says, well, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Doomfist here for one punch abilities. And, you know, even though Foie Gras got that initial early pick, Dash went in full metal gear and just absolutely decimated the positioning and took out, you know, quite a few lives in the interim. And they never were able to stabilize after that.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Valley Christian going back over to the Hanzo Brawl. Looks like we're going to get Mirror on that. As a matter of fact, Foie Gras going to come up with the McCree Dash with the May. The only difference is between these two compositions. The May's going to have the advantage in this small room of drum, especially if they can isolate Snips from the rest of the pack, trying to get in through this door. Recognizing that, Valley Christian push out through the window and just move on to the objective. They don't want to get caught in one of these tight chokes. So they're backing themselves out, giving some room to work. Try to find room for Hyperpie to lay down these arrows onto the steps.
Yep, and I mean, this is a beautiful position. Using Drum as natural cover here and just pouring the damage in, but there's the wall. That's going to be the advantage here on Sanctuaries where, you know, where does Dash throw these walls at?
Snips able to get around that one, find some healing. Nice Icicle, puts Hyperpie down to just a smidge of health, if you would. Pied finishes him off. Foie Gras low, trying to go around to the back. Lands the flashbang, gets the kill onto Pied, but put the front line. Jarbob's able to find that kill onto Snips. Charlie Barley is going to get D-Mech. Dash with a beautiful series of Icicles. A flurry of Icicles, if you would. A big 3K for Dash the May.
I mean, that was, you know, a squall rather than a flurry of snow and icicles coming through. The ice storm cometh. Man, that was beautiful work. Beautiful rotations from Rockland as well. I mean, once again, they're playing adaptive Overwatch. They're not just sitting back and staying with the same composition over and over. They're just really testing the waters and seeing what they can get away with, and they've been working it so well.
Well, speaking of adaptations, folks are coming back on a May of their own. Going in shield for shield. Dragons coming out from Pod. Shatter from Leolin in the back. Blinds too. Immortality Field keeps everybody alive, but snips. Dragons invested from Hyperpie to try to strike back, but Dash's Blizzard is now on the battlefield. Dash does pay for it, and it looks like Valley Christian are able to pretty much get out of it, but Charlie Barley goes down, so there's no tanks left standing here for Valley Christian. They do manage to converge onto Leolin just as Snips returns to the battle. But remember, it's Valley Christian trying to steal this point back. They need a clean fight win, and this is not it.
No, and I mean, the beautiful movement from Jarbob there to get on top of Drum, where Hex was sitting, waiting with the amp healing, and fully topped off now. You're looking at a self-destruct. You're looking at both support ultimates for Rockland. The answer from Valley Christian has to be the Shadow. He needs to land it in a hurry.
That's a three-man shatter for Snips. And Dash goes down. They take care of the immortality as the rest of the damage there. Snips is going to fall on the approach. And Valley Christian kind of runs out of steam. They're going to invest self-destruct, Dragons, and Sound Barrier to try to regain some momentum in this fight. And it yields them a kill onto Leolin. But that is all they're able to get out of that. Okay, caught up top. Hyperpie is able to pepper down Hex and Pied with a little help from some friends. But not before Rockland Esports have nearly 99%, though 97 before the cat comes through.
Indeed. I mean, but the good thing for Valley Christian right now is that they have built up to the Blizzard. So Jarbob has already eaten one today. Are they hungry for more tasty frozen desserts?
That would be a good time for Jarbob to eat it, no doubt. Podra with the bulk of the team, watching that diva. Jarbob just sitting back, playing really safe right now, kind of letting them spin what they need to. There it is, Ant Matrix and Dragons coming out. That's the initiation they were looking for. Jarbob eats it! They do scarf down yet another Blizzard. Hyperpie is able to find two with the returning Dragons, but Dash takes them down. It's a player advantage for Rockland on this point as they get that kill out of Charlie Barley. Jarbob's going to invest the self-destruct. And I believe it's a 4v3 for Rockland to try to push in. Snips looking to equalize. Pulls that shatter out. Jarbob manages to escape using the immortality field. Jarbob is now getting topped off and staying in this fight. An elongated fight that Rockland are just trying to steal this back, trying to maintain the advantage that they have, but they've used all their ultimates. Aside from this Deta that has just come online, Billy Dash is going to go ahead and channel that one up. Look for some targets. Self-destruct is there! Self-destruct gets 4!
And the mech. Oh, good night. Charlie Barley. Hello. Clutch.
Clutch Charlie.
Trying to get the D-back kill on Jarbob. Jarbob trying to be a little sneaky there. Look at this. Look at the stall. This is beautiful work from VCHS. They are going to probably win this point. They have both their support ultimates ready to go as well.
Oh, they almost had Hex. Hex was down to sub 10 health. That would have sealed the deal right there. There it is. The kill on the Hex comes through. Dash goes down. Valley Christian win round 2. Or round 2.
What a beautiful comeback from Valley Christian there. I mean, they got absolutely smoked on downtown. There's no other way to put it. But the adaptability and a little bit of, fortune in that 4.5-man self-destruct coming out from Charlie Barley. And now you're in the wheelhouse of Valley Christian. I mean, Zarya versus D.Va, the only thing that you're going to be lacking right now is the high ground contest, the easy access to the high ground. And Dash is going to bring out this Doomfist again, so Hyperpie is going to have the head on the swivel. They're going to have to save that cooldown, that flashbang cooldown for Dash pumping in. Charlie's going to have to really focus down on the Doomfist as well once they get their energy up.
We'll see if Dash can stay alive long enough to make something happen. Or Charlie Barley and this Zarya will build up the damage. Oh, it's a beautiful May wall from Pie to start things off. Both tanks down. Dash landing that big right hook. looking to put another one across the jaw. Doesn't need it. Leolin and Jarbob coming up with those kills.
All right, so now it's time to think about Sombra. I think Sombra could be an absolutely massive swap here for Valley Christian. Hack the Doomfist. Don't allow him the escapability. Don't allow them to use all the tech into their target there. I mean, that's a huge wall once again coming out of Hyde.
Blue Sky able to get the immortality field over at this time, though. And it's going to be Valley Christian finding first blood on this attack. You see Dash super low, is forced to just back way up, give a lot of space. HyperPie is going to take the high ground with that space. Dash eventually falls. And with a two-player advantage, Valley Christian move on to the objective to start wrestling this thing back. Charlie Barley's going to burn down both supports. No healers left on the battlefield. And this should be a flip for Valley Christian. Now it's just a matter of how long will it take.
Indeed, I mean, May needs to be out there. Oh my word, Leolin comes in and just absolutely smashes Foie Gras out. Dash back on the field as well. This should be a flip soon. There is a flip at 39%. They didn't invest any ultimates into it as well. Also, Hex is not getting very much value on this Lucio. Shagma outstripping them in the sound barrier department, so Foie Gras needs to have a big wall coming up.
Rolling it, Matrix two-man shatter. Gets Jarbob and Hex. Kill on the Hex is just going to further delay that. And there it is. Sound barrier still halfway away. Meteor Strike is going to take Charlie Barley down, though, with the Graviton Surge. I didn't see if the grab came out, but there's no value there. Dash moves in and got another one, looking for a third. The big uppercut onto Snips makes that for an easy kill. And Dash on this Doomfist is just wreaking havoc on Valley Christian.
I mean, I'm telling you, there needs to be a swap here to deal with the Doomfist because Dash is just getting all the value that they want. Already after that Meteor Strike, already 40% to their next one. So that is what I'm looking at right now, is how do they deal with Dash?
First things first, Valley Christian make it past. They do make it past the Blizzard and get that kill on the Dash. It was looking a bit hairy there for a second. Now Foie Gras responds with one of their own, but Valley Christian are held at bay by Jarbob's self-destruct. Not really follow-up there, but it does buy them entrance onto the objective. It's also managed to get Charlie Barley pretty juiced up here as they're looking to focus down Leolin. So Hex has to drop this sound barrier as well as an Ant Matrix. Shagman's going to respond with one of their own. Snips has the Shatter online, throws it down, it gets blocked. Snips is super low, Blue Stack coming through. Manages to get the heal and get the immortality field out of there. Leolin's Shatter does not come through either. And Leolin is off the battlefield, but both DPS are also down here for Valley Christian as the tanks tussle for control of this objective, and Blue Sky doing everything in their power to keep those tanks alive, succeeding long enough for Charlie Barley to find some kills. You do still have Dash here on this Doomfist. The havoc-wreaking master with a gauntlet retreats to the high ground and is eventually dismantled.
Oh my word, what an extended fight. They got 20% just for the contest alone. Do you stay with the Doomfist? I think you do, and they are going to go ahead and stay with it. Deadeye and Graviton Surge ready to go for Charlie Barley here. Maybe want to build up a little bit more energy and just really hold everybody in there and get that extra splash damage through the Graviton Surge.
Oh no, Valley Christian just got totally baited and fell victim to that rotation, but the Graviton Surge comes through. Dash manages to get out and get a kill onto Hyper, but it's all Snips from there. Everybody was still so low from the grab. Snips and Charlie finish them off.
Yep, and I mean, they only invested the 2 ultimates into that fight, so I mean, we're building up towards another sound barrier. Hyde has this Blizzard online. Foie Gras can answer with one of their own. And then Snips, you know, to Shatter might be the next best bet.
That Graviton Surge was perfectly placed. Once again, Rockland comes through with the same rotation, then move on to the objective. Shatter lays out Hyde, but Immortality Field saves them long enough. Blizzard out from both teams. Snips frozen up, Leolin frozen up. And it's Charlie Barley, who is still thawed, warm, and burning down. In fact, red hot and melting everybody on the battlefield. Valley Christian somehow, some way dig deep and come up with a map 5 win, putting them on championship point.
I mean, they dug so deep there, Bullscott. I mean, they got just absolutely punched. And they got punched on the 3rd point of Mecha Base as well. Dash's Doomfist was absolutely disgusting. And, I mean, here it is. The self-destruct to end all self-destructs. Charlie Barley saving possibly their season right there. getting that 4.5 man self-destruct, and now they sit on championship point. The number 1 seed is sitting on championship point. Rocket League Esports is not going down without a foul. That is for sure.
That is definitely for sure. And not only do they have the opportunity to still fight, but they have the opportunity to choose our map for map number 6. We are headed to a hybrid map type. Actually, I say that I think there's only one map left in the pool, and that's going to be Hollywood. So it's kind of a default last remaining map, and I think Hollywood's a good pick for them. You put Pied up on the high ground with a Hanzo, and I mean that just sounds vicious to me, Billy.
I mean, this is a better map for the kind of metal dive they've run, especially if you run Pied on the Tracer and you bring Dash back out on the Echo. At least attack-wise, I think that you could get so much value out of that with that composition, especially with what we've seen from Radia and their ability to land these anti-nades all day long, building up nanos so quickly. I'm just wondering, are they going to try and run it? Are they going to try and bring the brawl again? I mean, bringing Dash out on that Doomfist absolutely smacked them around. I don't know. I mean, Valley Christian were able to find the kills when they needed to do it. Charlie Barley stepping up once against Snips, just being the punching bag for Rockland Esports. And, he's gone down a few times, but always they had the reserves to be able to stay in the fight. They took some fights that, man, I don't know if I would have taken, but they had the staying power. They won the fights out. They take the 3-2 lead. We sit on championship point.
Yeah, I mean, and Snips may be eating a lot of aggro from Rockland High School, but Snips is able to strike back in their own right and find some key picks. I mean, this one is still just too close to call. I still feel like it is anybody's set here. The Rockland can absolutely come back. I do think Hollywood favors them a little bit. If I'm them, I probably stick with the brawl comp and keep Pied on the Hanzo. But we're going to take a short break. Y'all go hydrate. When we come back, we're headed to Hollywood, and we're going to see the conclusion of this series. We'll see you in just a minute. Valley Christian with an opportunity to close it out right here, right now. The Battle of the Goliaths. Both undefeated squads coming through, not just in their 8-0 regular season runs, but through the postseason as well. Coming in 11-0 after your opening round quarters and semis. Both these teams have been absolutely unstoppable. But now we must finally get an answer to the question, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Well, I mean, Rockland High School from just east of Sacramento in the Inland Empire of California, San Jose, the city by the bay. Who's going to win, land or sea, Warriors or Thunder? My goodness, this is all to play for. It's all going to come down to compositions, and it's going to come down to that measure of aggression that we need to see, that we have seen all day long, all night long. It's going to come down to who gets the hero play of the day. Does Rockland have the staying power to stay in? I think they do. I think that they are going to take this to at least an extra innings that we call it. We'll see. We'll see, because right now, Valley Christian on the attack. This is all to play for. They're sitting on championship bull skunk. This is where the rubber meets the road. Rockland's going to have a stellar defense here to repel, which is now an energized Valley Christian High School. They lost 2 maps in a row, but now they have roared back with 2 in a row of their own. And I want to see what Rockland bring out here on the defense. And we're going to have this mirror matchup with the Cree and the Hanzo. It's worked very well for them all day long. I just need to see. I need to see what they can bring to the table here, and if they can weather the storm that's coming in from Valley Christian.
I think you hit the nail on the head with not only our composition super important here, but the hero plays. This is going to come down. I can sense it already, Billy. This is going to come down to some huge hero play, be it from Jarbob or Pied or Dash or Snips, Hyper Pie, or, you know, Clutch Charlie over there with that Zarya. This is definitely going to come down to one big moment. I can feel it in my bones.
I can feel it in my bones, and I can feel the earth shatters already. They're going to be fat, and they're going to be plentiful. Look at that. 14% off 1 fire strike. I love this rotation they're taking, though. They're going to take it directly to Rockland Esports.
Yeah, they want to try to force them off the high ground, buy some space, give HyperPie this angle to work with. Rockland know it. They're coming up to challenge from the stairwell, but that means they do still have some teammates that are vulnerable down on the objective. HyperPie looking for those vulnerabilities, try to place an arrow right between them. Is just marking the stairwell, making sure they don't have any flanks to worry about. Inside, now's the time to strike move in with the Maywall. The bubbles are unleashed. Snips takes a flashbang, but still keeps on swinging. And Leland does fall. Now they do lose Blue Sky on the approach. So Valley Christian need to clear this out quickly, especially with Shine McGaw. Dash rotated up to the high ground, puts a big hurt onto Charlie. Pie finishes them off, but it's Dash, the hero play in the first engagement.
I mean, they both pick up 3 in that engagement, and that is exactly what you need to see from the defense there. Look at their ultimate charges, already plus 70%. Leolin 30% almost ahead of Snips in the charge for the first shatter. I think the first shatter is going to win this engagement, unless Charlie can build up to this Graviton Surge early. Jarbob really needs to be on Zarya patrol right now.
No fancy rotation this time from Valley Christian, and they're going to wish they had taken it back because you're leaving Dash up on this high ground yet again. Dash finds 2, finds 3 with the Peacekeeper, and it's Dash opening up for the second fight in a row. And wow, Rockland are counting their blessings for this DPS duo. Where did you find these people?
Oh man, I wish I had seen them on stream a little bit sooner in our season, but they're here now. They've shown up big. Almost a full 6-pack of ultimates for Rockland. I didn't see where the dragons went, but they were unleashed during that last fight.
Yeah, they were thrown over the point, but I think got a little overshadowed by that fantastic shooting of Dash. But here you go, fantastic shooting from Pied. This time, Snip Shatter completely interrupted by double damage storm arrows. And now Valley Christian are stuck on the stairwell. They're lucky to get out with as many reinforcements as they did.
Well, make me eat my words, because they lost that shatter through the damage boosted tree trunks that came through the Ant Matrix. And Grab Dragons can win them the fight here, but Hex does have Sound Barrier to defend against that. I really want to see what they can bring out of this. They also have that Amplification Matrix. So, Deadeye versus the Blizzard. I think it's going to be the next big engagement here.
I mean, I think this is Valley Christian's best opportunity. They need to win this off this Grab Dragon, so they're in big trouble. And they take a lot of damage early. Blizzard is gone. They do manage to clear the high ground with that Implication Matrix and get Dash out of there, who's been dashing their hopes all map long. They have yet to pull the trigger on the big Wombo combo. using that Ant Matrix just to buy some space. Now Charlie going in, looking for it. 92 charge, but eats an Earth Shatter. Doesn't get the bubble up in time. Shagma is there with the sound barrier, but Hyperpie goes down. Grab Dragons are off the table. Valley Christian have got to reset. No, they're going to invest Blizzard, and they've lost Blue Sky on the approach. They are going to get this kill in Leland. No, they do not. Hex drops the sound barrier in. Now the grab is out, but there's no Dragons to follow up on it, and the kill feed continues to light up blue.
Whoa, my goodness, massive overinvestment, massive hot spot there coming out from Valley Christian, sub 20 seconds now, and all you have is the Dragon Strike. You've got Dragon Strike and Deadeye available to Rockland here. 10 seconds, you've got to go now. You've got to get your presence on the point. A wall can just absolutely deny anything coming in.
5 seconds, they got to make way out of the point, and there's Dragons right in their way. Valley Christian able to rotate around the right, but the Immortality Field used early, and Snips goes down to the Deadeye after the fact. Dash comes up with 2 more! Dash with just an absurd performance on Hollywood. Oh my goodness. I mean, we're looking at 20 plus elims on a point, a-hole.
Draw. I mean, the only thing. Oh my word. Wow. Okay. DPS duo from Rockland ate their Wheaties and had another bowl because they absolutely just completely destroyed the entire attack phase of Valley Christian. I mean, the approach from Snips, sometimes the shield was dropped a little bit too early, trying to get a fire strike through an amplification matrix. The focus fire that came from Rockland, they had all the angles covered, Bull Skunk. That was a masterclass in how to full hold on Hollywood. And I tell you what, Dash just absolutely decimated Valley Christian. They had no answer for the McCree whatsoever. The walls from Foie Gras were just non-existent. And if they were there, then the rotation came from them, and they still had their line of sight ready to go.
Oh, man, we were talking about those hero plays. Dash delivered just in absolute spades, a plethora of hero shots, of fight-winning shots coming out of Dash on this McCree. Just phenomenal. Huge sound barrier from Hex during that hold as well. Kept Leolin alive, kept that big full hold alive. And now...
Go ahead.
I was saying the best Valley Christian can hope for is a draw. Now, if we go to a draw, we will go to a single map of Lijiang Tower to determine who wins this map. So just a little caveat there for this tournament. Keep that in mind. But man, that seems a long way away. That's a big uphill climb for Valley Christian right now.
It absolutely is. I mean, if Rockland wins this, then we're going to Paris.
Yes, indeedy. Rockland right now going to rotate all the way around to the cafe. Taking the far right approach, they're going to go ahead and move up to that high ground. Get Pied and Dash some great angles to work with. It forces Hyperpie to play safe and back up a little bit. That is a lot of damage being poured up there. Pied manages to get the kill onto Hyperpie through it. The Dash jumps down and finds Full Graw. They find the perfect opportunity to strike. And Dash finds Blue Sky as well, putting some fans on to Snips. Seems they did not have much health to survive it. And we are headed to Paris in a 3-3 tie. It all comes down to map 7.
Whew. Oh my word. I mean, the rotations. And once again, Dash just doing Dash things. Now, I mean, I need to sprint this one out because we're going to be going to Paris here very shortly. But let me tell you what, Pied getting the initial pick there on their attack was exactly the catalyst that they needed. I mean, look at this. Dash just did not take no for an answer. I mean, a lot of times people say mod check, looking for an aim bot, but I mean, there's no bot there. That's a high school student from Rockland, California, absolutely showing up on the national stage and taking it to them. My goodness, Bullskunk, that was just disgusting and beautiful all at the same time.
It absolutely was. Oh man, that puts a smile on my face. I mean, Dash making a strong contention for MVP of the series, particularly if Rockland are able to walk away with this dub on map 7. But before we get into Paris and our final map of the grand finals, just want to remind you about Intel's Winner's Circle. Stay tuned for Intel Winner's Circle, an invitational tournament beginning June 14th through the 25th. where some of the best esports teams nationwide will compete for over $50,000 in prizes, including a guaranteed $1,000 in scholarships to every participating school's esports team. The matches for the top teams for Overwatch, Valorant, and Super Smash Brothers will be streamed live on Twitch here at twitch.tv/Generation Esports.
I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that. That's going to be an amazing, amazing experience, not only for us as viewers, but also being able to see these students once again on full display. It's been, like I said, this has been a huge honor to be part of the HSEL here in the Spring Major. And now, we get to see the map set. We already know the map. It's going to be Paris. Ooh, oh man, Paris. Love the city for real. This map, not so much, but we've actually seen it played quite a few times here in the HSCL. Teams want to go there because they have some kind of strat that they want to produce, or they want to go ahead and, see what they can do in it. Rockland has already been there once in this in their semifinal, and they actually won it 3-2 over the Maroons. So Paris might be the key to them taking down the #1 seed here, Bullskunk.
Yeah, it all comes down to this. If we take a look back, this has been absolutely back and forth all series long. Rockland Esports had the 2-1 lead going into Route 66. Valley Christian able to put together 2 back-to-back wins, put them on championship point. And then we just saw that big full hold on Hollywood. And, we talk about the strength of Valley Christian's defense, but it's been Rockland's defense that's really carried them through today. And I think Paris is going to be an absolute example of how you want to play defense. Point A, widely considered a very defensively favored map. You do have that center high ground that you can work with, and then a lot of area to kite back and put up a kind of a second fight back on the point. And then you have so many choices, a lot to contend with on point B. So I think this is going to come down to how our teams defend and how well they defend. And right now, I dare say Rockland have had the better defense throughout this series.
We've seen it. Route 66 was a great defense for Valley Christian, though. They full held on Route 66, which is not easy to do. So here's what I'm thinking. Either you can go double shield here, and this would be what Rockland has done all day, has been very adaptable. So if they're on defense, have the 2 platform defense with a Symmetra and a Bastion. Symmetra allows you to go flip back and forth for the healers and for the DPS if you need it. It gives, a double look, kind of a fallback position as well if you do get overrun. Also, you can run with just the straight up Bastion here, and throw the Baptiste and the Lucio there, or a Mercy and a Baptiste, and make sure that you protect the president. That's another way to run it here. So there is so much that they can do here defensively, and they are going to start on our defense. So we're going to see what they're going to bring out, and it is a double shield on their defense. But look at the DPS. Dash is showing us the Doomfist, and Hyde. Here's the wrinkle again, Bullskunk, bringing out the Edgelord.
This is a very interesting look. This is essentially Rush with an Orisa. So, Orisa is usually the hallmark of bunker, right? You're talking like hold the line, you put up your shield, you maintain a good distance pretty much at all times. But everybody else on this defensive composition wants to get in your face, quickly, and wants to find eliminations as fast as humanly possible. So I'm anticipating Rockland to sit tight until somebody gets within range, and then they're going to pounce.
The other thing is that we've got Radia on the Moira, so the burst healing is going to be so huge here coming out of the Irish healers. So this could be all to play for. Oh my goodness.
Hide out at the police station. But Valley Christian, they just quickly get out of the amp speed all the way around, and they're going to set up shop on the objective.
Oh, no, the punch from here from Dash. If they land on anybody can hear it. Oh, my word. Yep.
Big uppercut. Blue Sky takes one right to the noggin. And is sent packing. And that is a quick fight win. Very clean. Like I said, they're going to engage fast and find the kills even faster.
And the other thing is that they've got the halt available as well, so you can stop the movement. You can halt the speed that Shigma's bringing to the team. You can speed on to your own team, and you can halt their progress with the halt from Orisa. They got that little bit of buff onto Orisa, a little bit longer meter that you can go out from. And now here comes the adaptation from Valley Christian, bringing out the Pharah.
Yeah, the Pharah's a good swap. There's really nothing except for an Orisa that can touch the Pharah. Loop it all the way back around. Also, then Shagman has moved over to a Mercy, but they're under a lot of pressure early. It's going to be a DPS trade, 5-5 on the point. Coalescence out from the defending Rockland High School. Shatter in, fine, Snips. Snips goes down. Fograw's able to take down the Reinhardt on the other side, but Jarbob was able to strike first. It's just enough of an edge for Rockland to hang on.
Oh my word, and there's 2 quick kills there from Leolin there. Supercharger into the next fight. So, Supercharger's going to win them this fight, unless they get just absolutely out-rotated by Valley Christian here. You're also coming up on Meteor Strike. You're also coming up on this Death Blossom. Death Blossom with the Supercharger. Ooh, that is going to be a filthy combo should they decide to deploy it, and that's half the time already off for Valley Christian.
Valley Christian looking to rotate right. Rockland trying to meet him inside the E station, but it means they're all tightly bunched up. Easily accessed by Fograw, but here comes the supercharged Death Blossom. That picks up 3. A little help from Hex on the Lucio, and yeah, that was a mean combo. Valley Christian got themselves caught in a tight spot.
Yeah, and Charlie Barley is out of their neck and just being absolutely staggered to the heavens here. There's the final kill going on to him, but barrage for Valley Christian in this next fight. This is going to be what I want to look for, and the Immortality Field is what's probably going to keep Foie Gras up depending on where they deploy it. You've also got the self-destruct, so Dash is going to need to be careful about how they employ their tech. They're going to have to keep this rocket or this meteor strike available to them once the self-destruct comes out.
It's going to be a Shatter Barrage. Shatter found 4. But the follow-up is just not there. Joblin does eventually go down. Self-destruct up from Charlie Barley is going to take down Dash. So there's a player advantage to Valley Christian on the attack. They find both supports are able to move on and finally get some progress started.
Yep, and I mean, once the Pharah came out, I know that they were trying to save Ultimate Economy. They wanted to really get that Ultimate out and get the combo out of it. But now, Rockland Esports are looking at a 3-minute 35-second time bank. They've made some swaps already. Dealing with the Air Queens. I mean, they had 3 aerial characters and no hit scans to deal with it other than the Orisa. And the Orisa, the bullets just don't come that fast. So now they've made the adaptations over here to present a different look to VCHS.
Yeah, I mean, that's a wholesale composition swap. All 6 players changing heroes, resetting their ult economy. Fogra, in lieu of this, goes over to the McCree coming off of the Aura. Gets that nice flashbang. Jarbob focused down. Snips is able to find Dash as well. How does that happen? You caught the Echo with a Reinhardt hammer. I don't believe it. And this could absolutely roll into a quick point B cap. They're starting to build progress already. There's the first tick.
Yep, I mean, it's guaranteed not to be in draw now. I mean, unless something else happens for VCHS. But there's a shatter out from Snips. Snips getting so much value on that. Jarbob done in the mech. Now it's all about cleanup. It's all about figuring out how to get everybody out. Dash picking up
Dash
2
is
into
able
the
to
fight.
pick up 2. Hyperpie self-destruct is going to find the kill into Radia, but they've just lost too many people. And 1 tick is all Valley Christian will find.
Yep, and this is exactly what we talked about in the lead up to playing Paris here. Dash.
Oh, wow.
Almost has another meteor strike online, and I know that Blue Sky took him down as a Moira there with a skill orb, but still, I mean, the damage is done. You had to reset the fight altogether, and now you're looking at double DPS ultimates coming online for Rockland. They're going to have an easy fight win of this, especially if Radia can build up to another nano in the next 30 seconds to a minute, because Foie Gras can be burst down with a pulse bomb from Pied if they decide to drop the Deadeye.
Deadeye coming online now. Hyperbyte trying to do it with Dash, but Dash had that Meteor Strike, and Pied shows up for some backup. Meteor Strike smashes Sigma into the dirt, ground up. like a mortar and pestle. And now with a +2, the defense can just push in and clean up the rest of the fight.
Oh, what a massive anti again from Radia. We started this fight at about 145. They were at 8% charge towards that nano. They are already closing in on 70%. What great ultimate generation here from Radia. I mean, they're not even taking enough damage from Radia really to get much done with the healing gun, but 60 seconds left. You've got 3 ultimates for Valley Christian. Mines and Pulse Bomb ready to go for Rockland.
Dash is coming off of the Doomfist. He's going to head on over to the Echo. Snips and company working around the right-hand side. Got a slight high ground over here. Just scouting out positioning of Rockland. They see him in that back left-hand corner. They're going to rotate all the way around. They don't have the speed boost, mind you. So it's kind of a slow rotation. They get Fogura up on this platform, obviously dropping a Deadeye from here, but there's nobody in sight. This does buy them a 3-second tick, and they manage to eat Pied's ult bomb. So that's a good start here. HyperPie's able to find that kill on a dash. Pied goes down as well. Charlie Barley putting some pressure in on the back line. Manages to avoid the sleep dart and find that kill on the radio. Now there's not nearly as much sustain left for Jabab on this point. Forced to drop that Primal Rage to hang on for as long as possible. It will buy enough time to get it into overtime, but Self-Destruct is out from Charlie Barley. Jabab does eventually go down, and that Self-Destruct is going to pick up that kill onto Hex. HyperPie has duplicated a Winston of their own, and this should be 2 points on the board. I don't see anything on Rockland's side that can stop it. It's just delaying the inevitable at this point, Billy.
I mean, both tanks online, both tanks is getting focused. Jarbob's going to throw his shield down and see what they can get out of it. I mean, they're just trying to stall. I mean, you're already into overtime, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Oh, my goodness, Snips. That was dirty on the Hex, and that is going to be the full 2 points coming in for Valley Christian. They have done their job here. They have gotten the full 2 points. So, Rockland knows what they have to meet at least, at minimum, to keep themselves here in the battle for the grand final, for the championship of the HSEL Spring Major. This is all to play for. Valley Christian have to come out with the defense that we are used to seeing from them. They have to come out and be measured in their aggression. They have to be measured in what they do. They have to be able to kite back and peel for Shagma and Blue Sky once they get pounced upon, because I swear Rockland's probably going to come out with that modified dive on their attack phase, because they really haven't been shut down other than Route 66. That was the only time that we saw them really get shut down.
On the defense, we're going to get the Southern shooters out. Let's focus on the Ash, HyperPie on the McCree as we do a little ring around the world there. That was a very quick world tour. What we just saw. We're getting Charlie Barley on the Sigma. This is a new adaptation. So Shagma will go on the Mercy to damage boost our DPS. Charlie Barley has the option to separate away from Snips and get a bit of a dual front defense, kind of a split defense. Though it looked like they're all sitting center, the center platform for now. You could separate Fulgur on Charlie Barley from the rest and have double angle, get a nice kill box going.
0 shields for Rockland also. You've got defense matrix, you've got adaptive shielding coming from the wrecking ball, but I mean, Leolin right now is just waiting out here. It's just going to create havoc for the back line of Valley Christian. So HyperPie getting a first early kill onto Farah. That is exactly what you want to see from them.
Back on the front line, Leland might struggle. Are they going up against an creation, a flashbang? There's a lot that can stop this wrecking ball in their tracks. But there it is. They get the pile driver kill on the Blue Sky, followed up on a kill on a HyperPie as well, while the rest is coming through. Nothing stopping Leo right now. They find 2 big priority picks. Going in, looking for more. Dash is there to follow up on that pile drive. Gets bow support. Insane coordination from Leo and Dash, and they're able to take point A quite swiftly.
I mean, this is going to be a massive time bank going into B, and nothing online for VCHS, especially if Radia gets this nano boost online. You can throw it onto a nano barrage, and this could be absolutely massive coming from them. So we'll see what they can bring out here. We've seen them win on Paris before and taking a first point attack with a nano barrage before. So, I mean, we'll see what we can get out of this.
I'm highly anticipating that Nano coming out onto Dash, as a matter of fact. Able to get the rest of that barrage online. Valley Christian just sitting back on the center high ground. You've got Leoland with mines. You can see them waiting around. Here comes the Nano barrage over the top. Finds two before getting stunned out of it. Mines are in the back. That's going to pick up a pair as well. Dash smashes Snips into pieces. And this combo from Dash and Leo once again just storms over point B. And now Rockland Thunder have 5 minutes to pick up 33% and claim the title of HSEL Spring Major 2021, and they can have it all for themselves. It's come down to map 7, but holy cow, Rockland have been above and beyond, head and shoulders on Paris.
Oh boy. I mean, you have to pull all the stops now. You have to pull out all the stops because one tick wins you the championship. VCHS have got to adapt here. They've got to figure out what to do to bring this to fruition, to hold off for 5 minutes for one tick. I think you bring out a Torbjorn here. I think you bring out the cheese here. Bastion, Torbjorn. This is going to be very difficult for VCHS to hold with this composition that they're showing us on their defense right now. Snips is going to be incredibly vulnerable to the rockets that come in from Dash. You don't have the mobility to get away. I mean, Charlie Barley can move, can absorb some damage. The accretion is going to have to land beautifully, but 5 minutes, this is incredibly difficult for them.
They're going to come out with that double shield. The only change that's going on in the Orisa to try to deal with Dash in the sky. And it was the coordination from Leo and Dash that was just oh so deadly. Dash able to follow up on those pile drives. I mean, Leo had the 2 opening picks right out of the gate, despite all the CC on the other side, and is taking a similar approach all the way into the back. Grabs that mega health pack and is just waiting for the responses. Dash over the top, finding the initial pick, finding the opener, and about the most important one you can get. Taking the Hershey down. There it is. The pile drive with the rocket follow-up. But Fokker and Hyperfire are able to find both of those kills. Now Dash is going to get res back up. Need to see at least one more kill from Valley Christian, and they can't quite find it. Hyde is able to get 2 coming in on the Hanzo. That 33% will come in. Rockland Esports have done it. Valley Christian, your #1 seed, took it to map 7, but when it's all said and done, it is the Thunder hailing out of Rockley, California. Be crowned your grand champions of the HSEL. Well-deserved. Congratulations. They are the kings of the high school esports league.
Compositional differences, my friend. Compositional differences. Once again, they didn't have the answer to the pharmacy, even though they had 2 hit scan players on it. You had to devote both your DPS to the Farah. Look at this, the Nano Barrage once again. I mean, that's got to be play of the tournament right there, Bull Skunk. I don't know. That's got to be play of the grand final. That Nano Barrage that just absolutely cracked open the defense of Valley Christian like a raw egg, and all the contents of the defense just went on the floor. My goodness, that was a heck of a final from both teams. It took us to the distance. It took us to overtime, and we got exactly what we want from it. So here is a look at how we got to where we were today. Valley Christian came out just absolutely on fire, lost 2 maps in a row, and then came back with 2 of their own. And then here we go. Hollywood, the full hold, and then the 3-2 overtime win for Paris gives Rockland High School out of Rockland, California, the HSCL Spring Major Championship. Oh my word. Full credit to both teams. They gave us the series of the entire tournament. And I'm telling you what, this was just an impressive day.
Oh, extremely. I mean, impressive showing from both teams. Very impressive showing from both teams. Oh man. Okay, we're gonna set up a winner's interview. We're gonna talk with Rockland High School about this narrow victory over the only other undefeated squad. We're gonna take a short break and set that up, but we'll see you back here in just a moment. Hear what Rockland has to say. And we are here with Dash from Rockland High School Thunder. Congratulations on your victory, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us for this interview.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
I mean, first off, I just gotta ask, how does it feel? Like, is a tight 7-map thriller. What is going on right now in your head and in the comms with the team? I mean, how does it feel?
Honestly, it feels great, of course. And like personally for me, I'm not like as nervous as I thought I would be, and I think it's mainly because we played so many maps. Like we played the full set.
Right.
I think it's the same with my teammates too.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get further into the interview. What grade are you in? How long have you been playing Overwatch?
I'm a senior here. And I've been playing Overwatch since the open beta, so however long that's been released, 2016, 2017, I'm not sure, but I've been
Right.
playing for a while.
And have you always played McCree and hit scans? What drew you to the hit scan DPS role?
I'm actually not a hit scan DPS. Like I don't. Whenever I played in like tier 3 or like open division, I only played flex DPS and projectile. And just like expanding my pool to hit scan is just something that just like naturally happened as like I kept playing the game, because in comp, like you just have to be able to flex around other people as well.
Sure.
Right. So I got a question right out. I mean, I obviously want to ask open division because Bullskunk and I cast that. What team were you on by chance?
I haven't played for a while, but the last time I played, I think was around, I think a year and a half ago. I played with RGN. I was in playoffs with them.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
So my first question out the gate, you guys made a little bit of a variation to this Brawl Rush comp that's been coming out. You guys put the Hanzo in there in place of the May, and that was a super creative way of using the long range of Hanzo. We saw you just take down members of Valley Christian so many times, most notably Pi really stuck their head out on Eichenwalde quite a few times. What was the reason for putting the Hanzo in place of the May in that situation?
So, basically, Pied, he's not a DPS player. He's actually our support player. Um, and like around 2 weeks ago, we decided to swap like the roles of 3 people on the team. And so Pied went from support to DPS, and Leo Lin went from DPS to tank, and Hex from tank to support. But it's mainly because like Pied's like, or Carson, like his Hanzo, like it's cracked. Like his Hanzo is his best hero, like on DPS, um, and I don't think we had enough time to cover the Kree. Like with the 2 weeks left that we had, we just didn't have enough time to cover the Kree, so we stuck him with Hanzo.
It's amazing. We're only in that set for 2 weeks because you all seem to have more adaptations and a little bit more versatility than Valley Christian today. Was that something you were counting on as a strength coming into this, or did it just happen to work out that way? I mean, you were showing us the dive, the double bubble, as well as the brawl, and looked strong in all three.
Yeah, so we've been a team for 3 years. Like most of the core has been together for around 3 years, and like we know each other's strengths really well. We knew going into the match that we had like a mechanical like advantage over the other team, and like adaptation advantage, and so that's mainly one of the reasons why we opted to go for like the ban on Hanamura to force out the Paris pick in case that ever happened.
It worked out.
Playing ahead, thinking ahead. The other real difference that I saw today is that you could see the communication on the screen when you guys decided, to let loose of the shatter. You already had pre-fired, or Pied had already pre-fired the Dragon Strike going into Leolin's shatter right outside the gate in the overtime of Eichenwalde. I mean, tell us how much you guys actually practice together, and what are your a scrim environment like?
I think we practice around, I think like 2 times a week, maybe one. And that's a lot of the time we can't practice because half of the team, they have sports to do, they have track, tennis, and just like other things that they have to do. And like a lot of the blocks open during the open division, like the standard blocks, like 5 to 7 and 7 to 9 Pacific. It's just hard to meet those, so we don't practice as often.
Sure.
When it comes to what was the second part of the question?
Scrim schedule.
Oh, scrim,
Yeah.
yeah, scrim environment. So yeah, we practice, like I said, we practice against like open division teams, and then also shout out to Westminster High School because they also helped us a lot with warming up for the match today and also for scrims as well.
Last question on the match itself. Going into Hollywood, you're down 2-3. You got Valley Christian on series point. You come out and put up this big full hold on Hollywood. You yourself open up with some just insane kills on that defense to start that off. What was said prior to that match? Was there a big rallying halftime speech, or did everybody just kind of knuckle down and just get in the zone? What were comms like heading in to map 6 when y'all are coming in down 2-3?
So map 6, so right before the map we had like a little period where we just took a break and just chilled, and I think there was like a time at like 3 minutes where just no one said anything, and it was mainly just to refocus and calm down, because we realized that a lot of our mistakes came from being over aggressive or making the wrong decisions because we got too hasty in some situations. Um, but going into the match, it was not very rallying or like exciting. It was just very calm and collected, and like, okay, like we have to like do this or do this rotation, or like rotation to server, right? And like run the way that we always have like in scrims, and just like relax and chill out, right? And we would talk about like before the map started, we would talk about like the strengths of the other team, and mainly it was the Zarya on the other team. Like the Zarya was like ripping our backline a lot of the time. And we wanted to put more focus onto the Zarya, and we just needed to play a lot slower to let our DPS flank around. And I think a lot of it had to do with like having superior positioning. And I think because we were calm and collected, we were able to think through the situations like that the other team like tried to force us into, and we were able to just out rotate and out position the other team. And that's mainly the reason why we full held.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's some great insight. It worked out really well for you. And you look calm and collected. Like there wasn't any rash mistakes or knee jerk reactions. It looked very calculated. Well done, my friend. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have anybody that you want to shout out? Here's your chance to, congratulate anybody, thank anybody that's been, supporting you. The mic is yours.
Yeah. So first, I'd like to shout out our advisor, Mr. Werner. He's done a great job of like keeping the program up and keeping like all the background stuff going on well. We're about to build like an esports, like a small little arena that we can use over the summer, and like that's
Awesome.
really exciting.
Wow.
And so like props to him for being able to get all that together. And the second person is Tease or Tyler Orange Peels. He's our substitute. And I'm pretty sure we would not have gotten through the season without him, because we were down players when it comes to matches, purely because we just could not make the windows. And so he subbed for us around half the time. And he subbed for us in the match against the VCHS junior varsity team too. So really props to him, just for like sticking it out for us and helping us out through the season.
I mean, y'all had a perfect season, so I say definitely a valued member of the team, be it a sub or not. So, well, congratulations! You've got $6,000 in scholarship money for your team. More importantly, you've got the bragging rights. You are the HSEL Spring Major 2021 champions. Huge dub! Big congratulations to you and your squad. Thank you so much for joining us for this interview.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think that is about going to do it. I just want to shout out everybody. I mean, from Valley Christian, you had Snips and Charlie Barley, Fogra, Hyper Pie, Shagma, and Blue Sky, all of which had a phenomenal season. No reason to walk away with anything but heads held very, very high, chin up in the air. An outstanding season. Definitely something to be proud of from the Valley Christian Warriors. On the other side, Jarbob and Leo, Dash and Pied, Hex and Radia coming through, your champions from Rockland High School. The Thunder walk away with the dub. Huge appreciation to everybody in that squad. Big shout out to HSEL in general. This has been a phenomenal spring major. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of, and a real honor to get to bring you these matches every week. There was 132 teams or something at the start. It has been an absolute joy to bring you each and every one of them. It was $30,000 in scholarship money across the board from the various tournaments and different games brought to you by HSEL, and just a big shout out to them. What an amazing event. We've been proud to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, it's been a labor of love. Like I said, every Monday has been just the focal point of my week. Being able to bring the stories of these players and getting to know them through the screen, and then getting a chance to talk to Dash there. What a well-spoken young man. And let me tell you what, this has been just everything to us. I'm sad to see that it's the last night of it, but man, I can't wait for the next time it comes around because I want to be a part of it again. But we're going to take a look at what's coming up for the rest of our week. I know that tomorrow we're going to have Super Smash Brothers and chess from 7 and 8:30 respectively. And then on Friday, our final grand finale of the week. And it's going to be Valorant. It's going to be Leg Day and Door on the call. I cannot wait to see them. And I tell you what, it's going to be a fantastic close to the end. Bull Skunk, this has been everything for us for the past 2.5 months, and I could not be happier and more proud to have been here.
Absolutely. I couldn't have better myself. Just so proud to have been a part of this. Big shout out and thank you to everybody behind the scenes, Tyler and everybody from HSEL. You've got Evan on production for us, keeping us in check week in and week out. Raphael, our director over at ELO Hill, allow us to bring this to you. We wouldn't be able to do it without all the hardworking people behind the scenes, and most importantly, each and every one of y'all for participating in this tournament, for hanging out with us and watching these fantastic matches, and just being a part of some high school esports league, Overwatch. Much appreciation to everybody out there. We're extremely grateful. Before we sign off, I just want to give one more reminder about the Intel Winners Circle. It's an invitational tournament beginning June 14th, going through the 25th. We've got some of the best esports teams nationwide competing for $50,000 in prizes, including a guaranteed $1,000 in scholarship to every participating school's esports team. The matches for the top teams for Overwatch, Valorant, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be streamed live on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Generation Esports.
One more final thank you. Thank you to Zathon for being our observer tonight in game for our first live match of the night. And, make sure you thank your production staff. Always make sure you thank your production staff because they take care of us.
Well, I think that is going to do it. That wraps up HSEL Homeroom Overwatch. This has been Bull Skunk and Chef Billy, reminding you to look out for each other in game and out. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.